Very much. Let's take a look at that forecast again. It's a steamy one, hot and humid the rest of the afternoon. Highs in the low to mid 90s, but again, the big headline here, that triple-digit heat index. Tonight, lows only dropping to around 79 degrees under clear skies. Tomorrow, much the same, hot, humid. There might be a spot storm with a high of 96, and again, the heat index well into the triple digits. But relief, it will get here by Wednesday, and then we're going to start to feel actually a little bit below normal with highs in the low to mid 80s. And that'll get us done through Friday. At 3:10, we have sunny skies, 91 degrees at Westport Plaza with a heat index of 106. For the Talk of St. Louis, I'm Brendan Weesey on the Big 550 KTRS.
What have we learned about Heidi?
But cockroaches were the least of her problems. Heidi had to fight for every opportunity.
You know, Heidi is, even though she's very kind of sweet and innocent,
Heidi wanted out of the slum, and her agent wasn't doing enough.
Oh my God, they moved Heidi right next to me now.
Although Heidi seems serene,
she's a bit naughty.
she uses an ancient folk remedy to help calm her down.
Heidi is back.
Here we are again. Happy Monday. A hot one. Holy cow. Yesterday was so pretty, at least in Indianapolis. And then walk outside and that heat and humidity, it hits you in the face pretty darn good. Heidi Glaus here with Josh Gilbert and Bob Ramsey, and we've got a lot to get to. First up, I don't know about you guys, but I always thought having a personal shopper was for the rich and famous, or at least the rich. But not anymore, thanks to AI. We're starting our new segment with the AI Guy. We're going to do it every other Monday here at 3:30. And we're starting with how AI can help you shop and find really good deals. That's just one of the many things that AI can help with. And Ken Lawler will be with us here in about 20 minutes to explain and to walk us through how to use AI. Then in the 4 o'clock, we'll talk about some of the stories that Ryan Kroll is covering for St. Louis Magazine, including one that is really interesting. The city of St. Louis is going after a real estate company who is known for a slow flip. Now, I don't know exactly what that is. Is it exactly what it sounds like? They hold on to properties and, it's sitting there and they're slowly restoring it, or is it kind of a deeper thing?
What was it last week? We had one of our insider guests talking about gentleman had tons of properties in North St. Louis.
Yeah.
Oh,
Is
yeah.
that the same thing, do we think?
No,
I think this is different, but...
So Ryan's got the story for us today. It was in the Post-Dispatch, and essentially I think what this is it's like a rent-to-own, but if you are the rentee, you're required to make all of the repairs because theoretically you're going to own it at some point.
Right.
However, they can evict you at any time.
Because you don't own it yet.
I can put a new roof on it, and then they can throw me out of my butt, and
this is different.
I have no recourse.
Yeah.
So it's not a true rent to own because I'm putting up, as the rentee, I'm putting up all of the stuff up front and having zero guarantee of owning the house on the back end.
Seems like there should be some paperwork here that would protect you, but we'll find out what Ryan has learned. We'll also check in with Jordana Miller. She, of course, is covering the Middle East for us, and another U.S. service member was killed. So we'll get the latest on that. And then in the 5 o'clock, we're going to talk to Mark Maxwell. Five on Your Side political editor. He just did a great story that Josh saw, and I'm so happy that you grabbed him for this. But people, I think, are confused about who are the winners and losers when it comes to Amendments 4 and 5 that we're going to be voting on here in the next couple of weeks. So Mark Maxwell will walk us through what we need to know. Because I think ballots, I wish they could just use simple terms. Why do you have to almost write it like it's backwards? I feel like half the time I'm voting for something, I'm voting against it, and half the time I feel like I'm voting against it, and I actually just voted for it.
And consistently it's that way.
Yeah.
Not just occasionally.
No.
All the time.
It's like they do it on purpose to confuse us. So we'll talk about that. We'll also talk sports, and there's a lot to talk about in the world of sports with Brendan Weesey. We've got some entertainment news, and then we will wrap this show up with some randoms. You guys know, because I did a show from the RV on Friday. It was a great weekend. So we got to Indianapolis late Thursday night. After I got off the air, we Ubered to Greenbridge Fieldhouse to see Caitlin Clark in a historic game. She was the WNBA's first 45-point, 10-assist double-double in the history, which was amazing. And, we've been to more than a handful of games in Indianapolis to see the Fever, but this was the first weekend we've ever seen Caitlin Clark in action because last year she was injured.
You saw the real deal.
We got to see it all. And so a couple of funny stories. One other thing that we've never seen before, not just Caitlin Clark's incredible performance. On our way there, because when we get to Indy, we usually Uber everywhere. We don't pull a car. And we're on our way, and we had a great Uber driver. He's fun, and he's chatting a little bit. And as we're in the passing lane, a cop who we are passing looks over and basically mouths and points, "Slow down." Didn't pull the guy over.
Really?
Just looks over. Have you ever seen a cop look over and say, "Slow down"?
I don't think I have.
I was
That's
riding.
crazy.
That was funny.
I like it.
I was riding a Vespa with my wife.
Well, here's the first problem.
I can't
We're in
remember.
Italy.
I can't
France.
remember. No, we were here in St. Louis.
Okay.
I can't remember if she was driving or if I was.
Oh, I'm sure if the Vespa is at a high rate of speed, I'm betting she was.
Yeah, I'm a slow
Sunday driver.
and steady. But he came up and he tapped on his head and he looked at us and he said, "Helmets,
Yeah.
helmets." And then we went out and bought some, and that's where we're at now. But it was
Well,
early.
that's good.
It was early in the Vespa, and we hadn't gotten helmets yet. And I don't know what the law is. I mean,
Wear a helmet.
well, that's what I'm saying. Like, could he have grabbed us and
could have gotten a
written
ticket.
me a ticket?
I don't know what the law is now either. Did we pass that you don't have to wear a helmet?
Illinois has one,
Definitely.
and we don't. I don't know what the helmet law. 84126.
What is the helmet law in Missouri?
And is it all state or can you do community?
I don't know.
That's a great point.
But I'm riding a 49cc. I don't need to have it licensed. I don't need to have anything on it. But I am on the roads.
Yeah.
So do the helmet laws apply to
Actually, that's a
vehicles
very
that,
good question.
that don't apply to other laws?
While we're talking about helmets, I mean, I never wore a helmet on a bike as a kid. I would not get on a bike right now without a helmet. Even if you said, "Hey, I'll throw $100 at you. Let's go on a 5-mile bike." No, I'm putting on my helmet. I've seen too many accidents and too many dents in those helmets to know that noggin needs to be
Even if you're
protected.
on a bike path.
Even if you're on a bike
Right.
path. Yeah. I mean, it's just, your foot gets hung up, you hit a loose rock, somebody comes at you. It's too much to, sacrifice.
Yeah, I agree.
I think. Couple of other things. So we went to the game Friday night, which is where she had her record break. And by the way, Kelsey Mitchell had 30 points. So, I mean, it was just incredible. And if you've never been to a WNBA game, they play music throughout the entire thing. I mean, there was it's just a fun time. And then Saturday, we went to the game as well, and we went with my sister and brother-in-law and niece. And it was a great time. But while they were doing kind of the moving into the dorm stuff, Marcia and I went to a great little Italian restaurant that we've been to probably 3 times. And we were bar sitting which is what we do because we like to talk to either the bartender or server, and you never know who you're going to meet.
People around you, yeah.
Now, I'm going to share something about myself that I shouldn't,
Okay.
but I'm going to anyway.
Right.
And I kind of feel like it is also that progressive, you're turning into your parents.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, cool.
You need that coach
Which
with you.
I can say this because I did tell my parents this story last night. So Marcia and I are sitting there, and there's only maybe 2 other people at the bar. And this, I'm going to say 45-year-old woman is probably 3 seats from us. And she's by herself. And she's looking at her phone. She's doing other things. So Marcia and I are talking. And then all of a sudden, a guy comes in to join her. And he seems a little more distraught. And so, of course, I'm all in. I cannot focus on what Marcia's saying to save my life because I am all in on this couple trying to figure out, are they together? Are they talking about somebody else? Is he here to ask her for advice because he's dating her best friend? So I'm about 20 minutes into this.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's second glass of wine. And
Keep 'em coming. Keep 'em coming.
and all of a sudden, I mean, we've now determined that they're definitely talking about each other. And there's some commitment issues. And so he leaves to go to the restroom. She gets the check. And I do what you probably should not do. And I said, hey, can I give you my number and you just let me know how this works out? And she goes,
That is the weirdest thing I've ever heard. That is so.
she started laughing and she goes, so you've been listening? I said, I'm in it to win it.
Oh, my God, Heidi.
Should they stay together? Did you off? No,
no,
they shouldn't.
listen.
Okay.
They're divorced and they're trying to get back together. And
But it doesn't
she
sound
doesn't
good.
even. I said, you don't even want to be with them. And she's like, I don't think so. And I'm.
Oh, my gosh. Oh,
Can
my
I
gosh.
give you my number? Not, I really, if you need somebody to talk
No.
to, not, I'm really concerned for you and your emotional state. No, I want to see how it works
Yeah,
out.
just let me know how this ends.
I need to finish.
Bob, this poor guy has no idea. The deck has been
Oh,
stacked.
Heidi.
Okay, you didn't offer too much advice, did you?
Oh, no. I didn't offer advice. I just said, hey, I want to know how it goes.
With the last chapter of the book, you want to know how it ends.
They were a blended family before they got. I mean, it was just, and this is what I'm saying about bar sitting. You get to know people, maybe even a little more than
Oh, my goodness.
you wanted to.
So let me, did she leave on her own? Did they walk out
They
together?
walked out together. Yeah.
Okay.
So, and she was so much fun. That was just one thing. So let me tell you another reason that you bar sit, okay? So our server was a doll. And on one occasion when Marcia was trying to figure out what she wanted to eat, and we just talked about do not ask the server because...
Yeah. Don't say, what do you like?
Yeah.
Bob,
Everything here is good.
Yeah, you're supposed to say, what is the restaurant known for?
Yes. Well, Marcia was going between like a sandwich and a pasta, and she said, hey, can you help me decide? And the server says, let me know if this has ever been asked to you. She goes, well, this is going to sound kind of weird, but do you want it to be interactive?
What, your food?
Yes.
What, a live lobster?
We kind of looked at each other, and she's like, well, the sandwich, it's got au jus, and you're going to be working at it a little bit more than if it's just a bowl of
Well, that's interesting.
spaghetti.
I've never heard it put that way.
No.
I hadn't either.
I'm thinking of the Three Stooges, Curly trying to drink this clam soup, and the clam's still alive. It spits at him.
Yeah.
Hey, Bob.
Well, that is interesting. So did she want to go interactive or not?
She didn't. She ended up going with the spaghetti, which was fantastic. So then
Interactive.
the server's parents come in and they bring a card. And we're not even talking at this point. Now it's reversed and it's the mother talking to us. And she's explaining that 2 days ago was the gotcha day, you know, when you adopt a child. She goes, I've been awful about this for years. And I'm, again, 2 days late, but we wanted to come down and celebrate Emma, the server, it's gotcha day. And at one time, Emma's over there making a drink and she looks back at me, who we have just now been sitting here for 40 minutes, and she goes, when's my gotcha day? I said, 2 days ago. So,
No way.
so that was our time at Vincino, something like that is the the restaurant. Yeah.
You're like the queen of the bar restaurant.
You know, you got to lean in and meet new people. Our friend Susan said, OMG, I turned to my mother a long time ago, but certainly not quite like that. Too funny. Love it.
I'm sorry I'm behind everything. What is Gotcha Day again?
That's when if you have adopted a child, your Gotcha Day is maybe not their birthday. It's the day that
they
you
became part of your
actually
family.
got them. Yeah,
Gotcha.
which is
See?
a fun thing. And then one more thing about my trip, and I will shut up. On night 2, Saturday night at the Fever game, we were about 3 rows behind Caitlin Clark's parents. And so it was kind of hard to pay attention to the court, or do you want to pay? Yeah, because like how were they cheering? And her dad was so animated, and like especially on her passes more than anything, or how like dejected did he get? It was just a great weekend, and we decided yesterday morning we looked at each other and we're like, why are we going back today? Let's just sit out here. We have an outdoor TV. Let's watch the World Cup here. It was a beautiful night. Ordered a pizza.
So you came home this morning.
So we headed back. We left at 9 a.m., pulled into the front of our house because you gain an hour coming back.
Right.
Pulled in at 10 afternoon.
Come on
I
into
was
work.
here, and I was actually a little early today.
You may commute. You may start commuting from Indy.
You never know. It's a fun city.
The Heidi special. Come back the day of. The day of. Well, that's really fun.
Yeah.
And I love to eavesdrop, but people watch and eavesdrop.
Oh, it's so good.
But your spouse is always like, why are you listening to me? You'd rather listen to strangers, and frankly, I don't have the heart to say it, but yeah, sometimes I do. I would. If they got a juicy story like this, come on.
Well, we were so close, and it just seemed like it was
funny.
Yeah. Somebody else said about 10 years ago, I was parked right in front of the QT in Melville, and I had a wooden dugout loading a little weed, and a cop knocked on the passenger window and mouthed, "Not here," and walked inside.
Yeah, just hey, move it along, buddy.
Yeah, just don't do it here.
Yeah.
Okay.
Stop being so conspicuous about it.
Yeah, that's good. I like that kind
Speaking
of
Yeah.
Speaking of interactive. It's just not me hammering you with a ticket or worse. Hey, come on, act right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
By the way, crab legs seems to be the most interactive meal.
For sure, the most interactive meal.
But
we're torn on the helmet laws. I'm going to have to look it up because somebody said no. Somebody else said yes.
Helmets required on MC in Mo, not in Illinois. I thought it was reversed.
I know.
I thought it was reversed that.
Illinois, you do not have to wear a helmet. I thought we here in Missouri changed the law. I know years ago you had to wear a helmet. When I had my motorcycle, you always had to have a helmet on. Now, I don't think that is the Vespa because it is under a certain amount of cc's, as you said. But I don't know what now the law is.
Speaking of being conspicuous or inconspicuous, I would never have a conversation like that in a public place.
Well, and I kind of felt like if you're going to do it here,
right, then
You know that something's up.
Yeah.
If you're going to do it here, then it's my God-given right to listen
to
to
pay
it.
attention. Okay, so here's another interesting thing. It was kind of a gray day starting out on Saturday, and so we watched the last episode of Hacks. Have you guys gotten into Hacks or not?
Not yet.
Gene Smart and Hannah and Meyer. Anyway, there's one scene, and she's like, "Oh my God, you brought me here so I can't yell at you. You asked me to come to dinner so I can't yell."
Right.
And I thought, oh, okay. Yeah.
That is a good thing.
Anybody who breaks up with somebody in public, I've been to a park or whatever and had conversations, but I don't think I did the deed, right there.
You mean like the breakup, or are you talking about something else?
No, the breakup.
Oh, okay.
I didn't finalize things because then everybody's crying,
Yeah.
and you're in public.
There's a great scene in Moonstruck where the older guy and the younger girl, and she ends up throwing a drink in his face, and everybody's staring at him, so it can backfire.
Yes. See? Don't do it in public.
Yeah.
All right. We'll find out how solid AI is, but AI is saying that if you're under the age of 26, no matter what, you need to wear a helmet. If you're over 26, maybe this is some sort of grandfathered in thing. If you're over the age of 26 in the state of Missouri, You can ride without a helmet, but you have to carry health and medical insurance that covers motorcycle-related injuries.
And I wonder why.
Which a police officer would not know.
Right.
Right.
And the age 26, doesn't that coincide when an individual has to get their own insurance, not your parents?
And somebody on text line just said the exact same thing that you read.
Okay.
Anyone under the age of 26 must wear a DOT-approved helmet. Riders 26 and older may ride without, only if they can show proof of health insurance.
And that texter,
Yeah.
I want to know, honestly, the 314, did you Google it just like I did?
Well, somebody from the 573 did too. There's two people saying it.
Okay.
And
Actually, there's three people saying it now.
now somebody look up Vespa helmet loss.
Okay.
Yeah. And what does that look like?
Right.
I don't know what the laws are when it comes to your HVAC system, but I do know that things run better if you have the right team on your side. And for me, that's Indoor Comfort Team Heating and Air Conditioning. It's a company that's been around since 1979. And if you've been around that long, you're doing a lot of things right. And my number one is the way you treat customers. And at Indoor Comfort Team, they know how to treat customers. As a matter of fact, Adam, the owner, he actually gives his clients his cell phone. He considers a client a friend. That's the way he treats each and every one. And right now there's a couple of great promotions going on. If you've been just hanging on by a thread and you knew it's coming, I'm going to have to get a new system, but you just were waiting for the right time. Well, Indoor Comfort is actually offering $2,000 off new train systems, no interest financing. So if you need to purchase a new furnace, air conditioner, a complete HVAC system, mention my name and you get $2,000 off any complete train system through Indoor Comfort Team, plus no interest financing options available with approved credit. That's one of the many options. The other one that I love, because I think, as I said, you have to have the right team, and sometimes the team has a great VIP maintenance membership program, and right now you can get that for just $19.99 a month with Indoor Comfort Team, and that gets you so many different things. 24/7 priority service and support, no after hours or overtime fees. You get a permanent 10% discount if you need a repair equipment, and a couple other things. So if you're looking for the right team to have on your side when it comes to your HVAC system, reach out to Indoor Comfort Team at 314-894-8200. That's 314-894-8200, or find them online at indoorcomfortteam.com. And just like that, is 3:31. Captain Paul, how's traffic?
Heidi, we have a problem out west. There's an accident on 70 East west of Wright City, the rest area out there, with a bumper-to-bumper jam back past Highway 47 in Warrenton. 70 West is slow from T.R. Hughes to just east of Bryan. Construction is causing slowdowns again in the Metro East today. 64 East is running slow from Illinois 157 to 159, and 5570 West is crowded between 255 and Illinois 111. From the KTRS Traffic Center, I'm Captain Paul Kopsky on the Big 550 KTRS.
Galmish & Sons have been providing quality heating and cooling services since 1950. They work exclusively with Lennox, the preferred choice of St. Louis homeowners. Call Galmish & Sons for your next Lennox HVAC installation and service. 314-993-1110.
It's lurking in your basement, over there in the corner. Or it could be mold and mildew, or even that musty smell. All signs of water entering your basement and causing damage to your most expensive investment, your home. When you suspect water damage, use the hometown waterproofing experts at Permajack of St. Louis. Permajack provides permanent solutions to all your nagging water problems. Whether it's a simple crack repair, perimeter drainage system, waterproof wall panels, exterior waterproofing, or even installing a sump pump, Permajack of St. Louis does it, and they do it right. After all, Permajack is the company St. Louis has trusted for almost 50 years. If you've noticed water in your basement, contact us for a free inspection, system design, and estimate at permajackofstlewis.com. That's permajackofstlewis.com. Permajack, foundation repair and waterproofing. Done right.
Hey, it's Jill Farmer. Medicare can feel like learning a whole new language. Supplement plans, Medicare Advantage, Part D prescription coverage. How do you know if your doctors are even in the network? That's where Ryan Raphael, the Medicare man, comes in. Ryan is like having your own Medicare consultant, guiding you through every option at no cost to you. By law, the insurance companies pay his fee, not you. For the right plan, call the Medicare Man, 314-368-6808, or visit MedicareManSTL.com.
Before you put your home on the market, before you have to pay money fixing it up to sell it, before you have to pay real estate commissions, call me. I'm Mike Robinson with Robank Properties, and I will buy your home. Any property, any condition, anywhere, and always as is. Call me, Mike Robinson with Robank Properties, at 314-283-0867. That's 314-283-0867. You have nothing to lose when you call Robank Properties at 314-283-0867.
Hi, this is Jason Hughes with TR Hughes Homes, and we are currently offering half off up to $33,000 in options and up to $3,300 in closing costs on brand new to-be-built homes at select TR Hughes communities. That's right, half off up to $33,000 in options and up to $3,300 in closing costs. Visit trhughes.com for details. That's trhughes.com.
The choice of a home builder is an important decision and should not be based solely on advertising.
However, you really should visit trhughes.com.
Okay, you've decided you want to get away, you want to travel, you want to see the world. Let Altair Travel and Cruises handle all the details, you handle all the fun. You don't know where to stay, you don't have to worry about transfers. What about your luggage? What about a tour guide? You don't want a tour guide? Lewis and Clark had a tour guide. You're in a different country, you want to go see the Sistine Chapel, you're going to need a tour guide. Let Altair Travel handle all those details, you handle all the fun. 314-968-9600, Altair Travel or altairtravel.com.
The heat of summer has arrived with humidity, dew points, and constant hydration. But it's always cool and comfortable at Gingham's Homestyle Restaurant. Whether it's summer camp, cooling off at the pool, or just relaxing in the shade, Gingham's is a great way to start or finish any day. Just add us to your to-do list. The management and staff at Gingham's would like to wish our customers and friends a safe and enjoyable summer, and to the United States of America, a very happy 250th birthday. Gingham's Restaurant St. Charles or ginghamsrestaurant.com.
The tradition continues on Saturday, July 25th, when the Cardinals play the Cincinnati Reds. That day, you can take home the fan favorite Victory Blue jersey, just like the one the Cardinals wear every road Saturday, presented by Stiefel. It's a clean, classic look that stands out all season long. Available in medium and extra large while supplies last. Step into Saturday in Victory Blue. Get your tickets now at cardinals.com/promotions.
This is Michael McGreevy. See you at Busch Stadium.
You're listening to the Heidi Glaus Show with Josh Gilbert and Bob Ramsey on the Big 550 KTRS.
Well, having a personal shopper sounds, at least to me, like something only the rich and famous can afford, but not anymore, thanks to AI. Ken Lawler, the AI guy, is back to help us figure it all out. Did AI make that jingle?
AI did that jingle, and it did it this morning in about 7 minutes.
And what did you feed it? What did you
minutes?
Once you get good at these tools, you can learn how to prompt. And prompting is, if you hear prompt in the world of AI, that's everything. So it's basically how to tell artificial intelligence how to process a thought or a feeling or whatever. And so once you understand how to create prompts effectively, it's incredibly fast what you can get done.
So what did you prompt?
I said, I am going on the Heidi show, and I want to have an intro, and I want it to be a tech and feel, and I wanted to introduce me as the AI guy, and I want it to only last 7 seconds with a 20-second bed playout, and that's what it did.
Is amazing. And before you help us all figure all this out, what is your background? Have you always been an adopter of AI? As soon as it came out, you're like jumping on board?
I've always been a tech guy. So, I build apps. I built your guys' app for KTRS. I have apps on the App Store. Prior to that, I was in advertising in St. Louis. I owned an ad agency for years. So I've always loved tech and just how to be involved with tech. So for me, I'm an early adopter on anything that's technical. So I was one of the first guys with a Commodore 64 back in high school. So, those are the kind of things that I've just always gravitated towards. I believe in technology. I think it makes our lives better. And so I'm in my era right now. I can't even sleep hardly. I love it. I love it.
Okay, so I admit I scroll a lot and I do a lot of shopping online. How can AI help me find exactly what I'm looking for?
Well, it's not even finding exactly what you're looking for, but it's how to find what you're looking for at the best price and gets to you the fastest. You can have it go through and look at all the different ratings for different products, so it can give you what people are saying about each product, so it can give you like a really quick and dirty, you might be looking at 3 different types of products. This is the one you want because based on 150 different people and what they said. If you had to read 150 different reviews, it would take you forever.
So how do we get to that? How do we get to prompting and asking the right questions?
So I would say start with ChatGPT. That's the easiest one. That's what everybody knows, right?
Mm-hmm.
ChatGPT will get you started. They just came out a week ago with ChatGPT Work, which is an amazing, amazing tool. And basically what ChatGPT Work does, if you sign up for more than just a free account, if you sign up for a pro account, it will take over your computer. It will fill out forms for you. I just had it this morning. I had somebody send me a 3-page PDF form they wanted me to fill out, and they wanted a bio from me, and they wanted a headshot. It went on my computer. It filled the form out. It wrote my bio and picked my headshot and sent it all, packaged it up, and emailed it back to me.
It is amazing to me. Okay, so before we get too in the weeds, is the free Chat GPT for most of us good enough?
It is. I mean, the free one will get you started. It'll get you the ability to play with some pretty cool tools. You'll know if you're moving down the road to the point where you need a pro account because it'll start telling you roadblocks. It'll say, you've kind of used enough of your, used all your tokens today. Maybe come back tomorrow. But for the most part, the free one will get you there. If you want the take over my computer, ChatGPT Work, then you're going to have to sign up for a pro account.
Okay.
So Ken, you probably remember this years ago. It almost kind of seemed like a novelty, but there was like a little button and you'd keep it in your laundry room. And when you ran out of your last Tide Pod, you would hit it and it would automatically send a message to Amazon or Target or Walmart to order you more, and it would come to your house. The pizza places even kind of did this. Again, these are novelties.
Yeah, the easy button.
You hit a button, you hit a button, and it orders you a pepperoni pizza to come to your house. When they came out with these refrigerators that are connected to the internet, I mean, the first thing I did was roll my eyes. Why does my refrigerator need to be plugged in and on the Wi-Fi? But can they now search into can my refrigerator log what's in there and automatically order me new milk?
That's been out for 4 years.
For 4 years?
Yeah.
Okay.
For 4 years, I've got one in my house. That's the only reason I know this. But it's got a camera inside the refrigerator, and it monitors, and it knows what a thing of milk looks like, and it knows what soda, and it knows like mayonnaise, and knows what mustard, and it monitors that process, and it will tell you need
you don't even have to make a list.
Yeah, like I still go to the grocery store, but can I say, hey Claude, or hey, a friend of mine over the weekend, I just met him, and he's talking to Claude all day. This is one of those AI agents. Can I say, hey, what do I need to get from the grocery store? And it could look in the fridge and go and send me a list?
Yeah, because you can do that. Like I can look in my refrigerator. There's a camera. I can go online and see what's in my refrigerator. If I forget them at the store and I go, I can't remember if I had, did I buy eggs?
That's even better.
And I can look and see, I don't have any eggs in there, so I need it. But even...
Is the light on, or do you have to turn when you...
No, it just goes, you hit the camera, it turns the light on inside, and you're there. I mean, but that's the better thing is to say, hey, Claude, tell me with these 10 ingredients that I found in my refrigerator, what are 5 things I could make really quickly out of these ingredients that might be something different that I haven't made before? And it'll come up with a recipe. It'll come up with how you do it. It'll pull together. And now this works great for like my son who's at home who doesn't have the creativity and doesn't, but I'm like, there's plenty to eat there. Just look in the refrigerator.
I'm hungry and we have nothing to eat. Remember? We've all said
full
that
pantry,
before.
Full fridge.
And now AI will say, oh, yes, you do. Just a second.
But it'll do things like, I mean, if you set up automations, I mean, it will let you know what you need to buy from the store this week. It will look through your shopping list from, like, let's say you're doing online at Walmart. It'll look at all the things you always buy. It'll go out and reference those and see if any new products have come in that might be cheaper or better, and it will supplement those. It will also send a note to Walmart to say, I want this included in my order now. I mean, there's all these automations are here, and it's just now connecting the dots, and that's what most people are. they're not going to do that. You're not going to go home and write that yourself.
Right.
You're going to wait for a company to come along and say, here's a cool little automation you can do. And that's what the next iteration is. Companies writing these little automations that you can adapt in your own computer on your chat to say, okay, I love that tool. I want to use it.
Okay, I know that there are people listening thinking, okay, the camera, no, and I don't want people to be able to tie together what I bought at Walmart. What is your safety concern?
I have none.
Okay.
And you have to almost be that way if you're really, really protective. You know, my mom calls me every day with a new text saying, is this spam or should I send them my bank info? No, Mom, never send your bank info to anybody who texts you about anything. Right. So there's a couple things there that you have to, be aware of. But for the most part, they're making sure that this stuff's not going to do you too wrong. I mean, and let's face it. I mean, you have to be a little bit open with your data. If you want something to assess your data and help you with the daily automations, you've got to give it the data. You can't just port it all.
Right.
So I don't know if you communicate with dinosaurs very well, but you're looking at one now. So what would be the first steps for me to say, I need to embrace this just for our quality of life and things we want to do? What are the first 2 or 3 steps?
I mean, one of the cool things a little bird told me that your son's camping up in the mountains right now, and you have, as a dad, we think ahead, right? We don't just throw things in a bag and go take off. We think about all the things that might go on and what you need to learn.
Correct.
So you could assess a kit for your son that he could take with him, a digital kit that says, here's how you start a fire. Here's what happens if you get in trouble. Here's how to make sure that you're watching the weather patterns up there. Here's how to have all the things that you're thinking about that you want to impart on him. You can make that into a digital little file that he can carry on his phone. And now the peace of mind that comes from the fact that you provided that for him, and it probably would take 10 minutes to put together.
That is beautiful.
Yeah.
That's the thing that I think is amazing is the time saved. Because I think I told you that we were planning our RV trip to the Pacific Northwest, and I labored over it for hours. And Marcia, who has embraced AI much like you have, put in the right prompts. She's got the right prompts. I want to do this. I want it to be 6 hours away. I kind of want it to be scenic. I want something to be adventurous. And if you could let us know where to eat on the way. It came out with the exact same thing that I had spent hours on.
I think the problem there is that we don't use it on a daily basis. My wife, though, and Heidi, your wife, they use it on a daily basis. They have become comfortable with it. But, Ken, I'm from the show me state. I want to see, you can't just have something pop up on the Google AI and mean to just automatically believe it. I mean, it gave us the laws in Missouri for helmets, but there's still a couple caveats in there. So how do we kind of get over that hump and for all the control freaks out there and just say, you know what, let the refrigerator order my groceries for me?
I think you got to see it in action and see what it's doing for other people and have that wow moment. I always tell people when you have a wow moment on AI and you go, oh my God.
Yeah.
Like this, I can't even believe this. And you realize that's just one of a trillion things it can do. Then, your RV trip, perfect example. Look, you're in the business of content. You're in the business. You have a voice. You are familiar with using your voice. You could be giving a 60-second into your phone about your trip as you're driving your RV about the things you did that day. AI will go grab the photos you took in your phone. It will take the different areas. It will draw a map. It will put together a blog, and it will post the blog for you by you just recording that 60 to 120-minute voice. It'll put the pictures, it'll put it in a carousel, it'll put nice music behind it, it will put in the map, follow your little RV along, and now people are following your blog as you're RVing and it didn't take anything.
Yeah.
So,
somebody just said I have a pro account for work. It calls me HRH Princess K, and everything has a royal spin. It also gives me a donut of the day. I use it for work. You learn how to ask the right questions over time, and you also train your person. That's kind of trial and error. But that's exactly what my wife did. I mean, it took time, and now she gets exact answers. So how much time does it take? Are we talking about practice for a month, and then you'll feel pretty comfortable? Do you practice for a week?
I say take a couple hours a week and just play with it and just kind of just try some things. I mean, the beauty of it is, you can just get out there and explore and create. And once you get that aha moment, it's going to suck you in. I mean, I'm telling you.
What's the difference in AI and what like ChatGPT and just what we've been doing for years with Google?
So most people are using ChatGPT like Google. It's just they're asking. So there's a cool study that came out. It said 70% of the people that used to use Google and ask it a question every day are now asking ChatGPT the same question. What they love about it is it's giving you a 3D look at that question, where Google used to give you 6 blue links that you could go find more. ChatGPT is explaining everything about what you just asked it, giving you additional prompts to maybe look deeper and further, or have you thought of this? So it's prompting you to kind of interact with it without having to go research and look more. So it's giving you a lot more info in one. So people are using it the same way. I would challenge people to use it in ways that are, write down 5 things you do every week that are the same 5 things you do every week that are tasks, and then put that in your ChatGPT and say, how can you do these tasks for me? And I bet 4 of the 5 it will find a way to do.
So when you, let's say I'm on the road, I'm looking for hotels or I'm looking for restaurants. I've been told just on Google, sometimes businesses can go to the top of the list, pay and get there. Can the same thing happen with AI, or is it completely objective?
So AI right now is objective because they don't have those constraints, and there's no advertising vehicle. It's coming though. That's coming. But right now AI is going to give you just a real unbiased look.
Yeah. And that's my fear, Ken, is that in the future I'm going to trust this thing with my life and then not even know that all of a sudden money's getting pumped in. And now they're steering me towards some product.
I can just hear, no, Josh, Taco Bell lettuce is fine.
Yeah, go to Taco Bell.
But Josh, that's happening already. That's already happening. You're getting influenced every day by the radio ads you hear and by the TV ads you're watching. And this is nothing new. There's everything that you see out there is a corporate attempt to lead you down the road of a product, whether you know it or don't. But the difference is with AI is that you do have more control, and you can train your AI or your bot or your experience to be what you like. And that's what's really cool about it.
So let's go back to just the simple shopping. If I'm looking for a new outfit, do I need to type in the color and I want pants with a fun shirt and good deal? How many different things?
I would upload a photo of you.
Okay.
And I would say, here's what I like, but why don't you show me what you think I would look best in, and let it start throwing outfits on you that it finds out there until you find a couple that you love, and then you go, this is the look I like, and then it goes down the road of, here's 5 things that will give you that look. Here's 5 things that are on sale. Here's 5 things that could be here tomorrow.
So what's the danger of AI eventually saying, what are you wearing today, Heidi?
Well, as in anything, you know what, that's going to be there. But I just, to me, the ability and what this is going to bring to, I took my mom on a ride in my Tesla, and my mom doesn't like to drive at night. She doesn't want to drive at night. And after 15 minutes of riding with me, after she stopped screaming, because my hands weren't on the wheel, she said, I want one. And she goes, I could see me living a really great life with this car because it will take me everywhere I want to go, and I don't have to drive.
I wouldn't have had taken the keys away from my mom.
Right. The freedom it would have given.
Right. She loved it.
Right. So the Waymos are out there, and I can order one and jump in like an Uber. But can I have a Waymo at my house?
Well, you do. I mean, the new Tesla Y is a full self-driving. You do not have to put your hands on the wheel.
I put the address in, and it backs out of my driveway.
You don't even put it in. You just say, Grok, take me here, and then it programs it in and takes you there.
Huh.
And then what's coming, though, in the next couple of months.
You guys are watching YouTube and Josh's face.
What's coming in the next couple of months, this is really cool, is Banish. So now Tesla's going to have Banish mode, where you pull up to the mall and you get out of the front door and you banish the car, and it goes to the very back of the parking lot and parks itself. And then when you come out, you hit a button and it drives all the way up to the front door and picks you and your shopping stuff. Yeah, right. It picks all your stuff up.
I was going to ask, does it park for me?
Yeah. No, it parks itself. Backs in even.
Oh, my gosh.
It is a whole new
Wait a
world.
minute. AI backs into parking
Better than you
space.
can imagine.
Back in to be cool.
He's one of those that pulls in, so now you've really blown
Oh, I
his
hate the backer inners.
Yeah, Ken, the AI guy, will be our AI guy here on the show every other Monday starting today. We're so excited about this. And if somebody wants to get a hold of you, is there an email? Is there a website? How do we learn more?
They can go to imapworks.com, imapworks.com, and they can find me there and get a little background on what we do and how we can help you. But yeah, we love it. We're going to be here every other week. We're so excited to have this collaboration with you guys, and I can't wait to bring the AI wow to a bunch of people.
Yeah, you already have today.
Yes.
First State Bank in St. Charles.
Yeah, we got to mention good. Thank you. Our sponsor, First State Bank of St. Charles. They can help you with all your mortgage needs here in St. Louis. Great guys. Dan Simpson over there, a good buddy of mine's the president. I love it, and they'll help you.
All right. Thank you so much, Ken, the AI guy.
I knew I didn't trust this AI. Packing in.
6 minutes before 4 o'clock. Captain Paul, how's traffic?
Well, Heidi, there's still that accident on 70 East west of the Wright City Rest area with a bumper-to-bumper jam back to Highway 47 in Warrenton. 64 West is stop and go at times from Kings Highway to Clayton Skinker where there's a crash. Construction is causing slowdowns in the Metro East again today. 64 East is running slow from just east of Illinois 157 to 159, and 5570 West is crowded from 255 to Illinois 111. From the KTRS Traffic Center, I'm Captain Paul Kopsky on the Big 550 KTRS.
Over on the text line 84126, someone said, great segment. You should have them on every week, not every other week. Well, we're working on it. And then somebody else said, Heidi, how did you like the Friday night Fever game, and did you go Saturday night also?
I'm texting right now.
Well, we mentioned it earlier in the show, but Heidi will catch you up on that. Now, one thing that AI can't do, or maybe, I don't know, maybe can they stain a deck? Can they paint my living room?
They might be able to put the right stain together, but I think you're still going to have the manual labor.
Yeah, you know what? The color, the color match. Right. I bring that in, I take Bob's blue hat off and I say, give me this color for Finn's new bedroom walls. And it could probably mix that, but somebody's got to apply it.
Still got to do it.
Somebody's still got to do it, and that's where Ruffino's Painting comes in. Mike Ruffino at Ruffino's Painting. You can email him, Mike at Ruffino'sPainting.com. You can go to the website, Ruffino'sPainting.com, and you can call him 636-655-0820. Some things we still have to do the old-fashioned way, and frankly, you don't want to stain your deck. We drove the golf cart around Newtown last night because it started to cool off. Mm-hmm. And we pulled up, and there was a husband and wife, and they were staining their deck by hand, and you could tell that they had been arguing.
See? There's a theme today.
Yes. And my wife and I looked at each other and we go, we're
not
never
staining.
We're never doing that again, because we tried it on the first house. Never again. Mike Ruffino can get all my deck staining jobs in the future. And
save marriages.
Save marriages. And he can do my living room and my kitchen as well. Ruffino'sPainting.com, 636-655-0820.
Don't miss the summer sale going on all month long at Appliance Discounters. Come in today and save, and they'll deliver it tomorrow. Savings up to 60% off select models. In addition to their sales prices, Appliance Discounters is having huge factory rebates on select models. They have a 50,000 square foot warehouse full of savings. Just come by one of their 6 showrooms and they'll show you why they're called the Appliance Discounters. Appliance Discounters with 6 locations or online at theappliancediscounters.com. Don't miss the summer sale going on all month long at Appliance Discounters. Come in today and save, and they'll deliver it tomorrow. Savings up to 60% off select models. In addition to their sales prices, Appliance Discounters is having huge factory rebates on select models. They have a 50,000 square foot warehouse full of savings. Just come by one of their 6 showrooms and they'll show you why they're called the Appliance Discounters. Appliance Discounters with 6 locations or online at theappliancediscounters.com.
Aluminum shapes the world around us, keeping our homes cool, our cars moving, and our supply chains humming. From their global headquarters in St. Louis, Metal Exchange has been helping to make it happen for over 50 years. But they're more than an aluminum company.
At their core, Metal Exchange takes a we before me approach by putting people first at work and in our community. That's why this month they're teaming up with Catholic Charities of the Archdiocese of St. Louis for Christmas in July, collecting toys and bringing joy to local families. Learn more about how Metal Exchange is impacting our world at metalexchange.com.
My college roommate said to me recently, everyone needs a good electrician on speed dial. And you know what? He's right. Ever since Michael Baldy has started advertising on the show, you know what? He's been out to the house 4, 5, 6 different times to fix all sorts of things. Good thing I got Michael Baldy on speed dial, because those things are a hazard. And it's one thing, you know how much I like to pretend to think that I'm a home improvement guy. I'll mess with plumbing and I'll mess with woodworking, but there's something I won't mess with, and that's electricity. It's too dangerous. It's too confusing, quite frankly. I know how to plug in a light bulb, but after that, it's baldyelectric.com. So for all of your electrical needs, residential, commercial, indoor, outdoor, TVs, computers, technology, baldyelectric.com. It's the place to go. You need a good electrician on speed dial. That's Michael Baldy, or baldyelectric.com.
Hi, it's Julie Buck to tell you about a trusted family business that I've been working with for years, Easter Fence and Deck. Chuck Easter and his family have been the go-to fence and deck company in the St. Louis area for more than 70 years. And when it comes to sunrooms, Easter Fence and Deck offers the top-of-the-line Better Living sunrooms that are absolutely spectacular. When it comes to fences, decks, and sunrooms, I would invite you to do what my family has done for years and trust the family-owned Easter Fence and Deck. Online at easterfence.com.
I trust Pella Windows and Doors of St. Louis to help improve my home when it matters most. It's not just Pella's high-quality windows and doors. It's the local experts who know the St. Louis area so well. For a limited time, get 20% off Pella projects or 0% no payments, no interest if paid in full within 24 months. Call 833-87-PELLA or visit Pella.com/radio to learn more. 833-87-PELLA or Pella.com/radio. Restrictions apply. See site for details.
This is the Big 550 KTRS St. Louis, Wildwood, De Pere, Columbia, and the world. Streaming live at KTRS.com.
Davis, anchor Prime streaming weeknights on ABC News Live. U.S. and Iran are entering a second week of renewed strikes. An attack by Iran at a U.S. base in Jordan killed 2 U.S. service members. A dignified transfer will take place tomorrow in Delaware. President Trump will attend. The war is fueling hostilities and uncertainty for oil and gas prices. ABC's Karen Travers has more.
We're now seeing gas going back to that $4 a gallon average, according to AAA. Traffic in the Strait of Hormuz has essentially slowed down significantly again because of this week and a half now of ongoing strikes. There were 30 verified crossings in the Strait of Hormuz over the last 3 days, according to data.
In Ocean Springs, Mississippi, family and friends gathered at a memorial service for Nolan Wells. The 18-year-old died while on a boating trip to Horn Island with friends on 4th of July weekend. He did not return with his friends. The family is calling for justice and a transparent investigation. A former U.S. Army veteran is in custody after the FBI says he targeted Manhattan's federal building that houses immigration court and other agencies. He's accused of dousing an outdoor stairwell with gasoline and igniting it with a firework. ABC's Aaron Katursky has more.
They identified Andrew Arabaca as the suspect, 43 years old, lives in Poughkeepsie, New York, upstate, with an address also in Harlem. And it turns out that he served in the United States Army for 4 years between 2001 and 2005, worked on Patriot missile systems during that time in the service. And at some point, according to the authorities, he became anti-government, anti-ICE.
In Madrid, jubilation as fans welcome their champions following Spain's epic World Cup victory against defending champions Argentina yesterday. Crowds filled the streets for the parade for players and to get a glimpse of the World Cup trophy. You're listening to ABC News.
And now, KTRS weather.
2 more hot and humid days with a heat advisory in effect until 7 p.m. Tuesday. Partly cloudy this go-around, up to 93 with the heat index anywhere from 100 to 108, and a bit of a smoky sky with some Canadian wildfire smoke drifting through. Just a slight chance of a pop-up storm this afternoon. The low only 79 tonight. Really warm night. A few weakening storms around early Tuesday morning, but then finally a cold front moves through tomorrow. Unfortunately, that's after we hit a high of 94 with a heat index around 102. Much more comfortable Wednesday and Thursday, highs in the low to mid 80s, and a big drop in humidity. That is more like it. From the First Alert 4 Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Matt Chambers on the Big 550 KTRS.
Progressive knows that boat days can come with unexpected problems.
It's been a tough Saturday on the lake. I ordered swim trunks in this orange cream color, but it's actually more orange auburn. Oh, and it's swimwear. I probably can't even return these.
If a real problem comes along, your boat's protected 24/7 with Progressive, so you can keep worrying about boater problems. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates, not available in D.C.
Straight Talk Wireless presents Pickup Truck Wisdom.
Trust is earned. That's why I've stuck with Straight Talk. Same price since 2009 on Verizon's 5G network. Cause shoot, anyone can make a promise. Keeping it for years, that means something.
Now plans starting at $25 a month with 4 lines. Find us at straighttalk.com and Walmart. Straight Talk Wireless. Straightforward. Always. Same price claim applies only to the base monthly price of our $45 plan from October 2009 to present.
Good afternoon. It's 4:03 and 91 degrees at Westport Plaza. I'm Brendan Weesey, and here's the latest from the KTRS newsroom. That extreme heat here in the metro area, the heat advisory continues through tomorrow. Heat index this hour still coming in at 106. But again, the good news, relief is on the way. Details with that full weather forecast coming up in just a few moments. Cases of the cyclosabara have spiked in Missouri with 216 reports as of Sunday. Dr. Nathan Kaparnis with the Missouri Department of Health and Human Services explains that the current incubation period of the parasite makes it difficult to project moving forward.
An incubation period is the amount of time between when you get exposed to in this case, a parasite, and when it makes you ill. For cyclospora, that's about a week, but it can range from 2 days to 2 weeks. So there could be people out there, very, very easily could be people out there that had already been exposed to this that just haven't really come down with symptoms yet because they're still within that, week to 2 week period.
Dr. Kaparnis added, it's possible a peak to the widespread nature of this parasite could be coming, but nothing right now is for certain. An airman from St. Louis was killed in an accident out in California. KTRS's Jill Enders has the story.
Military officials announced that 23-year-old Airman First Class Cedric Enaluna, who was assigned to the Vandenberg Space Force Base, died last week after the heavy equipment he was operating rolled down an embankment. Enaluna, who was raised in the Philippines and later called St. Louis home, enlisted in the Air Force in March of 2024. He served with the 30th Civil Engineer Squadron's Pavements and Equipment Flight, a unit known as the Dirt Boys. Jill Enders, KTRS News.
This KTRS Business Minute is brought to you by Walter Knoll Florist, the place for all your floral needs. Place your order anytime at WKF.com. Gambling means big business in Illinois. According to tax filings, residents spent more than $7.7 billion gambling in the state last year. Of that, the state received more than $2.6 billion in gambling tax revenue that went to help balance the Illinois budget. A look now at the markets, brought to you by JBL Financial. Tune in to Straight Talk on Retirement Saturday mornings from 9 until 11. Here on the Big 550. Dow down big, 307 points, 51,839. S&P 500 down 14 at 74.43. And after being up most of the day, NASDAQ closes down 12.25,508. Right now, let's go find the good captain, Paul Kopsky. He's standing by the Royal Banks of Missouri Sports Desk. Hello, Paul.
Hello, Brendan. The Cardinals open a 3-game series with the Angels tonight in Anaheim. Kyle Leahy gets the start for the Redbirds, who blew a 7-0 lead in Arizona yesterday and lost to the Diamondbacks 8-7 in 10 innings. And Mizzou is on center stage today at SEC Media Days. Coach Eli Drinkwitz is joined by Jamal Roberts, Caden Green, and Nick Rodriguez. Tune in for coverage from Tampa tonight on the Big Sports Show. I'm Paul Kopsky from the Royal Banks of Missouri Sports Desk, and now on to traffic. A crash on 64 West at Clayton Skinker is causing a stop-and-go jam back to Kings Highway. Estimated clearance time from MoDOT is 4:45. 64 West is also stop-and-go from Prospect to I-70. 64 East heavy from just east of Illinois 157 to 159. And 5570 West is crowded from 255 to Illinois 111. From the KTRS Traffic Center, I'm Captain Paul Kopsky on the Big 550 KTRS.
All right, Paul, thank you very much. That weather forecast looking steamy, hot and humid here the rest of the afternoon. Highs in the low to mid 90s. But the big headline here, that triple-digit heat index in many locations. Tonight, again, we're only dropping down to about 79 degrees. Tomorrow, hot, humid, maybe a slight chance at a storm. Otherwise, we'll have highs around 96 and that heat index well over 100. The relief gets here starting Wednesday with highs in the low to mid-80s, and that will last at least through Friday. Now, we do have some storms just north of the metro area. They've been shifting south all afternoon long. Don't think they're going to get here, but our northern listening audience, especially for you folks in Illinois, keep an eye to the northern sky. You might see some lightning and possibility of some storms heading down in the next 45 minutes or so. At 4:09, sunny skies, 92 degrees with a heat index of 106 at Westport Plaza. For the Talk of St. Louis, I'm Brendan Weesey on the Big 550 KTRS.
How do you separate estate planning from elder law? You don't, because they're so intertwined. Let's face it, we're all getting older, and you need to make these decisions today, whether it's for your parents, for yourself, or for future generations. Rudy Beck, Jay Lennox, and Caroline Stolzer, and now it's Matthew Furr, have been navigating these important decisions for more than 50 years. Beck, Lennox, Stolzer, Estate Planning, and Elder Law. Call them 636-946-7899 or beckelderlaw.com. You can thank me later.
Lauren, can I ask you a couple questions?
Sure.
If your parents were buying a home tomorrow, would you represent them any differently than one of your clients?
Not a chance. And when I say that, I mean I treat my clients exactly like I'd treat my parents. Same honesty, same advice, same negotiation. Every client gets the same service.
Okay, second question. If one of your closest friends called you and said, I found a house, I'm in love with it, but you knew it was a bad decision, what would you do?
I've already done it before. I tell them no, don't buy it. My job isn't to sell people houses. It's to help them make good decisions. And sometimes that means they don't get to buy anything that day.
That's exactly why I've sent my friends and family to Lauren for years.
I mean, it's simple. Buying and selling a house, it's a big deal. And people deserve to have someone who's willing to tell them what they need to hear and not just what they want to hear.
Exactly. If you already know Lauren from listening every week, then you already know the kind of person she is. When it's time to make your move, give Lauren Risley Realty a call at 314-775-0684.
Mom, what do you always say? There's nothing sadder than jewelry that sits in a drawer. That's why we are proud to offer jewelry repair on site at Newssetter's Fine Jewelry. We know that your jewelry is important to you, and we take that part of our job very seriously. Visit us at Doherty Ferry in Big Bend or learn more at wowdiamonds.com.
You're listening to the Heidi Glaus Show with Josh Gilbert and Bob Ramsey on the Big 550 KTRS.
Our headlines for this Monday afternoon, July 20th. Ted Drews serves frozen custard on Andy Cohen's Watch What Happens Live. The Lou got a sweet shout-out last night. St. Louis native Andy Cohen welcomed another hometown favorite, Ted Drews' frozen custard, on his show in celebration of National Ice Cream Day. Stephanie and Melanie from Ted Drews stepped behind the bar during the after show to serve the shop's famous frozen custard concretes upside down to Cohen and his guest, Real Housewives of Atlanta star Shamia Morton and comedian Fortune Feimster. They introduced the signature St. Louis dessert as a thickly blended ice cream that has less egg in it. They actually joked about their concrete signature thickness, telling guests it's thicker than Housewives drama, which is pretty funny.
Pretty good. Yeah.
Cohen, who recently received an honorary doctorate from Wash U, has featured other St. Louis businesses on the show, including Dad's Cookie Company and Clementine's Ice Cream.
I think the Cardinal game, did you mention this? The Cardinal game is having a Bravo night.
Oh, I did not mention that. I didn't see it.
I think they're giving out a hat that has, the Bravo has kind of that like talk bubble.
Oh, yeah.
The Cardinals logo inside that Bravo talk bubble.
That's cool. Yesterday, as you point out, was National Ice Cream Day. Did you ice cream yesterday?
I did not.
Josh?
He hates ice cream. I don't know what's wrong with him.
Hang on. I normally don't like ice cream, but we had the Oberweis people in here on Friday, and it was very delicious. They've got the new protein ice
Do we
creams.
have any of that left since I wasn't here?
Yeah. There's some in the fridge, freezer. Actually, you got to check it because once everybody found out it was in there.
It was kind of
I had the strawberry.
grabbing
It was
towards
good.
it.
Strawberry, vanilla, chocolate, and chocolate chip. There is an extra. Sorry to butt in here, but since we're talking about it, there's a new Edwardsville store. Grand opening, ribbon cuttings tomorrow night, July 21st.
You're talking Oberweis?
At 4 p.m., Oberweis in Edwardsville.
Oberweis. He's been to France,
Oh.
First 100 customers get a $1 scoop of ice cream and merch giveaways. Oberweis in Edwardsville.
Did it again.
Oberweis, if you're like Bob.
If you're just an American.
At 4 p.m.
I did hear you say that on Friday, and I thought, have I been saying it wrong this entire time?
You haven't been.
Josh has been saying it wrong.
Well, what's the song from Sound of Music?
Oberweis.
Yeah. Edelweiss, Oberweis. Doesn't matter how you say it.
As long as you eat it.
Hey, it's Hermann Goering.
Yeah.
You're not in Germany.
All that matters is the $1 scoops and free merch.
Somebody said Shamia Morton is going to be at the Cardinals game Friday night for Bravo night.
I would expect to see Andy there. He's such a Cardinals nut.
Yeah.
No,
And
probably
if
just
they're
depends
doing-
on what he has going on.
Doing a Bravo
He's got a
night.
few things to juggle, doesn't he?
He does. He's a busy guy.
I'll try not to take too long. 2 DNA stories on the same day. DNA from the skull of an unknown Revolutionary War soldier reveals more than his name for more than 2 centuries. He was unknown, unnoticed. Now, through DNA, they found out his name. Private John Pumphrey died as a teenager in the Revolutionary War.
Really?
At the Battle of Camden, South Carolina, August 16th, 1780. And how about this? The researcher, Allison Peacock, forensic scientist, she works with DNA samples as old as 10,000 years old. They got the good stuff they needed from some thick bone behind
That
the
is
deceased
crazy.
ears. Get this. She found out she was related.
No.
Whoa.
How about that?
How close? How close?
One of the first things I do when I take a case, I run my DNA against it, see if there's somebody related to, and helps track things down. It's never happened before, but she is related to Private Pumphrey.
Wow.
That is interesting.
That's interesting. A little bit of joy, patriotic,
Yes.
Revolutionary War. Families of 2 men have discovered through DNA tests they were switched at birth
I think that
38 years
would be
ago.
awful, awful, awful.
They're now suing the hospital.
What?
Because the
How
hospital.
did they decide? Did they take a DNA test and they were gotten to one of the,
One of the men was convinced when he saw a photo of this this brother from the other family. It started when one of the relatives did a DNA test, went through a biological aunt, and then they started realizing, wait a minute, this isn't matching up, and they found the other guy, and lawsuits will ensue, and the hospital records no longer exist. So this will be an interesting one to. How do you put a value on that kind of mistake, good or bad?
I mean, at this,
it's
how old
maddening.
are they?
I think they were in their 30s.
30s is still very young. I would
38
say
years ago.
Yeah, I would say at this point, what's done is done.
Well, yeah.
But we would joke on the front porch while Finn was sleeping. She would say, if we found out that there was a baby mix-up, and they said,
Which
well,
I have thought he's really cute.
I know, for being my son?
Yes.
My wife's hot. She said, if we found out that there was, I would keep Finn and demand the other baby as well.
And the other parents.
You know what?
Yeah.
I like that.
They're out of luck.
Tell her that's a great solution. I like that. And then the other thing is not what you're an adult like these two men are.
Yes.
Do you go to the other folks? Hey, how you been?
Mom, Dad.
How you been? And then the other folks, they go, wait a minute, where are your? It's so horribly confusing.
I think it would be like if you were adopted. The people that raised you are your parents. And then these other two are just,
Well, we wanted to be your parents.
Well.
Okay, well, I'll tell you one more. Tell me how you'd feel about this. Have you read the story about this 26-year-old Los Angeles actress and filmmaker? Her name's Sophia. She just discovered her biological grandfather, Charles Manson.
I saw that story.
Oh.
Like, what would you do with that?
Oh.
I wouldn't have put it out on social media.
I don't think I would have either.
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah.
Don't you just got to suppress it and move on?
Does she have bushy eyebrows?
No, odd little swastika on her
Yeah,
forehead.
right,
That's really strange.
Right in the middle.
All right, coming up, we're going to be joined by Ryan Kroll.
Am I chopped liver here?
What? I thought you told your story and you jumped in.
I didn't tell a story.
You just
I'm dying to hear your story.
Oh, I guess I just blocked it out.
I didn't tell my story. Second lady.
You said jump in a while ago. What were you talking about?
I was
then?
just reminding everybody that Oberweis is opening up their Edwardsville
I thought that was your
location.
headline.
No.
Okay.
That was just hey, speaking of ice cream.
Got it.
Go get some free merch tomorrow at 4 p.m. at the ribbon cutting. Second lady Usha Vance has given birth to their fourth child. Obviously, Vice President J.D. Vance and Usha are married. She is the second lady of these United States. Their fourth child, Alec Neil Vance, joins the siblings, and this is just the second time
I read that
a second lady has given birth while in office.
Last time was,
You'd
let
have
me
to-
guess.
Okay.
No, I heard it. Go ahead.
1870s,
Yeah.
Vice President Schuyler Colfax and his wife, the baby that was born, Schuyler Colfax III, went on to become the mayor of South Bend, Indiana. 1870, who would have been the president? Grant?
Grant Johnson or Grant?
Yeah. When's the last time a first lady gave birth in the White House? A little sad because of the background and what happened. 1963, Jackie Kennedy gave birth to Patrick Bouvier Kennedy on August 7th, 1963. The child died 2 days later, and then President Kennedy would be assassinated just a few months later.
November.
Wow.
I didn't know that Patrick Kennedy even existed. I didn't know this story. But prior to that, it was Grover Cleveland's wife. She gave birth for the first time in the White House. She was the first one.
Yeah. And now, if it's going to be a first lady, it's going to be a great-great-grandchild, as old as our presidents have been lately.
So Frances Clara Cleveland married Grover at 18. No babies in the first term, but in the second non-consecutive term, that's when she started having kids.
Okay.
So
Wow.
that's the first time it happened. And then for a first lady, Jackie in 1963 had the second.
Any other stories?
That is all.
Okay. We will be right back.
Done for the day.
With Ryan Kroll. He's covered a couple of interesting stories for St. Louis Magazine, and we'll discuss after this.
The heat of summer has arrived with humidity, dew points, and constant hydration. But it's always cool and comfortable at Gingham's Homestyle Restaurant. Whether it's summer camp, cooling off at the pool, or just relaxing in the shade, Gingham's is a great way to start or finish any day. Just add us to your to-do list. The management and staff at Gingham's would like to wish our customers and friends a safe and enjoyable summer, and to the United States of America, a very happy 250th birthday. Gingham's Restaurant St. Charles or ginghamsrestaurant.com.
It's Les Miller weekend at Miller Furniture. We're celebrating my grandfather, Les Miller, pitching nearly 20 innings in one big league game for Detroit back in July 1945. Don't miss this limited time sale going on now through July 21st.
In Les Miller's honor, we are giving you up to 20% off everything in our Belleville, Fairview Heights, Lake St. Louis, and Ellisville showrooms. Plus, when you add in up to 60 months special financing, it's a home run.
Miller Furniture has more American-made furniture than ever to choose from, including huge discounts of up to 20% on beautiful Amish-made furniture, only available at Miller Furniture.
Take 20% off any Chatham & Wells luxury mattresses or get 60 months 0% interest.
Get $500 in free furniture with the purchase of a Tempur-Pedic or Stearns & Foster mattress, or get 60 months 0% interest financing.
Don't miss the Les Miller sale at Miller Furniture, now through July 21st.
At Miller Furniture, we put the family in furniture.
Since 1974, Permajack of St. Louis has been helping residential and commercial owners protect their biggest investment. From successfully solving foundation structural problems to making sure basements remain dry, Permajack has performed tens of thousands of projects on both sides of the river, utilizing state-of-the-art technology, techniques, and equipment. Permajack of St. Louis has done it with honesty and integrity, never recommending anything outside of what you really need. For many repairs, Permajack provides a transferable life of structure warranty, all while Permajack of St. Louis has earned a BBB A+ rating and accreditation for foundation settlement, bowed or buckling walls, cracks in your foundation, walls or bricks, or basement waterproofing. Choose the hometown family-owned team at Permajack of St. Louis. Schedule your free inspection and estimate at permajackofstlewis.com. That's permajackofstlewis.com. Permajack. Solid as rock.
Hey, St. Louis, this is Zippers Up. I'm getting ready to MC the Mater Media Speaker Series. Woo, we're bringing in some big names: Bill O'Reilly, Cardinal Timothy Dolan, John O'Leary, other national personalities. We're going to be at the J. Scheidegger Center for the Arts, Lindenwood University, beginning in September. Go to matermedia.org. That's matermedia.org. Early bird pricing going on now. Don't wait. Tickets are going fast.
You're listening to the Heidi Glaus Show with Josh Gilbert and Bob Ramsey on the Big 550 KTRS. It's Monday, and that means news, politics, lighthearted topics, and everything St. Louis and beyond. It's Ryan Kroll from St. Louis Magazine on the Big 550 KTRS, the talk of St. Louis.
The city of St. Louis is taking action against a real estate company that uses what's known as a slow flip business model. Ryan has written about it for St. Louis Magazine and joins us to explain. Welcome back.
Hey, good to be here. How are you?
I am fantastic, and I just heard that you saw Big Boy yesterday.
Yeah, me and the fam, we went to go see the train, and we were hardly the only ones. I got to say, I am shocked and pleasantly surprised how many St. Louisans came out for this train. It was, once we got within like a few blocks of Union Station, we could tell, parking was going to be an issue and that this was going to be an event. But I got to say, hats off to, I guess, Union Pacific, whoever ran this thing. They had like shade, they had free water.
Wow.
So they really know how to put on a train show, I guess.
And did Big Boy impress?
My 2-year-old, yeah, he was amazed by it. I thought it was very cool. I don't know that I'm the exact audience for it, but my child loved it, and I think people who really know trains, they seem to be getting a lot out of it as well. There was a lot of kind of excited conversation about specifics and things that are just way over my head. So it was a great atmosphere, good vibe. So yeah, I'm excited for it to come back.
Yeah. All right. So let's go to this crazy real estate company. Is it what it sounds like, that it just takes forever to get a property ready, or what is this slow flip business model?
So yeah, this is really confusing in the weeds, and that kind of intentionally so on the part of these folks. And I think a lot of people will know, maybe like the ads you see before a YouTube video or something promising, easy money on real estate. I think we've seen sort of that sort of thing promoted on social media. Oftentimes, it's this slow flip business model. And basically what it boils down to is someone owns a house or a whole bunch of houses, and they, quote unquote, sell it to someone, but even though money has exchanged hands, the person purportedly selling the house retains title to the house. And then a person who bought it is in fact just making sort of installment plans that's kind of like rent. It's kind of like paying towards a mortgage, but it's really just money going into the seller's pocket. Where this gets problematic is these contracts are written with all of these caveats and other sort of specifications, which says that basically if the buyer misses a single payment or is late on a single payment or if they don't make repairs to the house, basically ownership reverts to the seller, the person who never let go of the title to begin with. So basically, this is a way to have someone in a house that you own fixing it up, and if they don't fix it up fast enough, you get the house back. So it's
and
kind of
this
like
is legal?
Yeah, that's why it's so confusing. It's sort of so in the weeds, and it sort of takes advantage of all these different little loopholes. And yeah, I mean, people honestly disagree whether or not it's even legal, but it does sort of occupy this gray area of real estate law. And the city found their own sort of loophole trying to fight it, where a specific way that this business model doesn't, the way the occupancy permit is applied for, like the onus is on the person living in the house to get the occupancy permit. But there's sort of this obscure sentence in city law somewhere that says that the only person allowed to apply for an occupancy permit is the person who has title to the house. So this scheme sort of runs afoul of that. So really the city is not attacking this predatory business model. They kind of found their own sort of workaround, their own loophole to try to get it out of St. Louis. The idea is that basically these guys operate all over the country and, basically every big city. And if they can just make it a little bit harder to operate here in St. Louis, I think they'll just pick up stakes and go away.
Ryan, you used the word predatory. What? How do they get people to buy into this plan? Is it desperation, or people think they can beat the system and get the house? What kind of experiences are we finding out about?
Yeah, it seems mostly people are kind of operating just without all the facts. They're basically being told for as little as $2,500 down, you can be on your way to home ownership, right? Like, and most people think a down payment's pretty sizable. That's kind of the big hurdle to home ownership. But they're saying all you need to do is just put a down payment of $2,500, and then then you'll be on your way to eventually owning this thing. And a very few people do. They manage to make the repairs. They manage to make every payment on time, but the contract is essentially setting folks up to fail.
I'm curious, Ryan, do we have examples of people who have fixed a high dollar fix and then have been thrown out or evicted? And what dollar amount of houses are we talking here?
Yeah, so the examples I've seen are people tend to get they tend to sort of hit those headwinds pretty early, like in the first year or so. The sort of pernicious nature of the contract kind of reveals itself. And we are not talking about high dollar properties at all. The majority of the ones in St. Louis are in North City and North County, well under probably $100,000 in terms of the total cost of the house. But these operators, the company that the city has specifically taken action against is this company called Bustling Funding. And they have a bunch of different LLCs that hold different properties. But I think it was 150 properties in the city and the county combined that they owned. And I don't know what the average cost was, but it was just sort of eyeballing it. It was probably less than $100,000 per house, maybe even way less than that this company, originally bought the property for, and then was sort of quote unquote selling it to folks, kind of using this slow flip business model where the person buying the house, it's hard to say if they even technically bought it to begin with.
Yeah, it is so interesting. All right, let's stay in the city for a minute. Megan Green, aldermanic president, has finally settled her lawsuit, but give us a little backstory because this goes way back, like 9 years.
Yeah, this was in 2017 when there was the protests over the Jason Stockley verdict. He was acquitted of murder, and there was 2 or 3 nights of unrest in the city. And aldermanic president Megan Green, who was an alderwoman at the time, she was in the Central West End and she was tear gassed. And then years later, she sued the police saying that she shouldn't have been tear gassed. And she said basically the point of this lawsuit is she wanted the police to sort of change their protocols around how tear gas was deployed. And then this was supposed to go to trial earlier this year, but her attorney talked to me actually, and he was a little loose-lipped on the eve of trial, and the judge declared a mistrial. So then the whole thing was supposed to go to trial for the second time earlier this month, but in the end, Megan Green settled with the city for $35,000. And interesting in two different ways. On the one hand, her attorney, this guy Javad Kazelli, he has a history of getting a lot more money in jury trials than $35,000. Right now, the city owes him owes his firm something like $50 million in verdicts from jury trials. But at the same time, the sort of stated goal for the police to change their policy around tear gas deployment, I don't know for a fact that that's been done either. So it's kind of a confusing situation. It might have to do with the fact that someone kind of high up in the firemen's union has announced he's going to run against Megan Green. So I can't help but wonder if she's not interested in these headlines about her, suing the city, taking money from city coffers. She might just be willing to be done with it. And I think the police or the city was probably very happy to settle for just $35,000, which in the grand scheme of things is not that much money for a city with a budget of $1.5 billion.
And to be clear, she's not keeping the money.
Yeah, that is a good point. She's giving it to a charity, Invest STL. And basically what they do is they just give money to folks who are affected by the tornado or who are trying to fix up their house or something like that. It's called direct investment is their model of charity. And, yeah, it was actually her attorney, or maybe it was Megan, I forget. One of them told me, and they said, if we win at trial, we're going to give all the money to charity. And that was exactly the thing the judge did not want the jury reading about right before trial because it might prejudice them in favor of Green. So anyway, it kind of all came full circle. I don't know, one of those things, Lord only knows how much both sides spent on attorneys here. But at least we have some closure.
Yeah, finally. And then a National Book Award winner is throwing out an endorsement in Webster Groves. What's happening here?
Yeah, this was a fun one for me. I'm a big fan of Jonathan Franzen, the novelist. He wrote The Corrections, which won the National Book Award. He wrote another very good book called Freedom. But yeah, there's a ballot proposal there's a proposition on the ballot in Webster Groves to basically, it's a pretty modest property tax increase to raise money for the library. And one woman who's supporting that proposition, she's kind of organizing it, trying to get some word out about it. She said that back in the 1980s, when Jonathan Franzen, who'd go on to have a very successful career, when he just written his first book, he was giving a book signing at B. Dalton downtown, which no longer exists. And she was the only person there, and she was only there because she worked at the B. Dalton. So anyway, she struck up kind of a friendship with Franzen and stayed in touch with him here and there in the decade since. So whenever she was looking for someone to throw their weight behind this proposal, she thought of the writer, who is a Webster Grove native and spent a lot of time at the library that would benefit from the fund. So she reached out to him and said, hey, would you be interested in publicly endorsing this? And Franzen sort of has a reputation of being a little bit of a curmudgeon, so the type of guy who would maybe say no to this kind of thing. But I think he loves libraries. He likes Webster Groves. He has a soft spot for this woman, obviously, who showed up to his reading 30 years ago. So he said yes and issued a nice statement encouraging folks to go out and support Prop L.
Well, we're big fans of the library here, but we do a lot of work with St. Louis County Library. Webster's in the county. I wonder why they've stayed separate forever.
That is a really good question. So yeah, there's 5 libraries in the county that actually predate the county library system.
Gotcha.
And one of those is the Webster Groves Library, which I think is the building's like 75 years old. The sort of library itself is over a century old, I believe. I want to say it was 1912. So that's exactly why. So I think it's Webster. I forget the other municipalities, but they sort of have their own library system only because they predate the county library system.
Very interesting. Well, Ryan, we always enjoy chatting with you, and you can follow these stories and more of Ryan's reports online at stlmag.com. Thank you, sir.
Hey, you guys have a great one.
It is 4:36. Captain Paul, how's traffic moving on this Monday?
Heidi, looking pretty good overall, but there is a crash on 64 West at Clayton Skinker, causing a stop-and-go jam back to Kings Highway. The estimated clearance time is 4:45. 64 West is also stop-and-go at times from Prospect to I-70, and 64 East is heavy from just east of Illinois 157 to 159. From the KTRS Traffic Center, I'm Captain Paul Kopsky on the Big 550 KTRS.
Jill Farmer for Premier Heating and Cooling. Summer in St. Louis means your air conditioner basically clocks in with a full-time job. And if your AC is 15, 20, or maybe even 25 years old, it could be working a whole lot harder and costing you a whole lot more than it should. A newer, high-efficiency system from Premier Heating and Cooling can cut cooling costs dramatically compared to older units. In some homes, upgrading from a 20-year-old air conditioner to a modern, high-efficiency system can reduce energy use by 20 to 40%. And even a professional clean and check tune-up can improve efficiency, airflow, and help your system keep up during brutal heat waves. Add in a smart thermostat, and the Department of Energy says homeowners can save another 10% a year on heating and cooling costs. So before your old AC taps out during the hottest week of the summer, call the highly trained team at Premier Heating and Cooling. Financing options available. 636-916-1122. PremierHeatingCooling.net. Comfort you can count on.
Embrace the darkness at Nocturnal by Nature. It's a free family event Saturday, August 15th from 7 p.m. to 10 p.m. It's happening at the Bush Conservation Area, 2360 Highway D in St. Charles. You'll discover what goes on when the sun goes down. See live owl presentations, explore an inflatable cave and night hikes, meet real night creatures, dissect owl pellets, get mesmerized by moths, and probe the night sky through a telescope. And free snow cones to boot. Come experience the Nocturnal in your nature.
One thing, I try to do is not think about all the money I have to spend. But sometimes it goes through your head and you think, I got to buy this, I got to spend money on that. But the money that you spent on your house is probably the biggest single purchase you've ever made. So it makes sense to protect it. And you know what? There might be things going on up top there on the roof that you can't see. Allen Roofing can. They don't even have to go up there. They can send some drones up to have a look, find out the problem, give a diagnosis, sit down with you and say, what shall we do from here to protect that asset of yours that you spent all that money on? It only makes sense, whether it's a roof, whether it's siding, tuck pointing, anything to do with the outside of your house. They will help you protect it. Find them online at aroofing.net.
Your dentures no longer fit? Maybe you're missing a tooth or several teeth. Visit Dr. Bowen for Simply Secure Dentures and Dental Implants. The cutting-edge, high-quality dental implants that replace all the teeth in your mouth, and it starts as low as $7,000, not the $35,000 that others charge. If you're only missing a few teeth, Dr. Bowen can permanently replace those with something you don't have to take in and out of your mouth. Learn more at simplysecuredentures.com and get the care you need and the teeth you want at Bowen Dental Care or simplysecuredentures.com.
When you pay for tree work, you want to be sure you're getting the most for your hard-earned money. That's why you should always use the ISA certified arborist at River City Tree Service in Baldwin, Missouri. Hi, I'm Steve with River City Tree Service, and we've been the go-to tree service since 2008. Tree removal, tree trimming, storm damage, deadwood removal, stump grinding, and more. Give River City Tree Service a call for all your tree service needs at 314-270-8071. That's 314-270-8071. River City Tree Service.
Dr. Joe, it can get very confusing, but the one thing we need to know is GLP-1, right? That's the magic cure.
Yeah, they're on the med, and these medications are used, these GLP-1s, for reducing inflammation in your body. I get so many folks that are like, wow, I don't have the knee pain. I don't have the...
Because once you start losing weight, all these other things naturally happen to you in a positive way. Not just talk about the deals for KTRS listeners at stlmedweightloss.com.
All KTRS listeners, they get $50 to $100 off their first month. And what's beautiful about it too, hey, I get it. The economy, what we just had, guys, things are difficult right now, but we make the plan work for you. We have financing options. We make this work for you because we realize how important it is to get down in your weight, get your confidence back, and really start feeling like the old you.
Call STLMedWeightLoss.com and ask Dr. Joe. STLMedWeightLoss.com.
You're listening to the Heidi Glaus Show with Josh Gilbert and Bob Ramsey on the Big 550 KTRS.
The U.S. conducted a new round of airstrikes against Iran today after announcing the death of another American service member. Jordana Miller, ABC News correspondent in Jerusalem, joins us with the latest in the Middle East. Welcome back, Jordana.
Hi. The United States carried out a ninth night of consecutive strikes on Iran, this time, once again, expanding the bank of targets, hitting not just in and around the Strait of Hormuz, but further inland into southern Iran, western Iran. There were explosions reported in Shiraz, in Isfahan, in Avaz. There was a tower that was brought down that was used to a maritime control tower that was hit a few times, but it came crumbling down this weekend. And Iran struck back, as they have, hitting what they say are U.S. bases in Bahrain, in Kuwait, in Jordan. In fact, just about an hour ago, Jordan was struck for a second time. Today, the Kingdom of Jordan says that it shot down at least 3 ballistic missiles. When we talk about the servicemen that have been killed over the weekend, one that was in northern Iraq by handling an Iranian drone that had not detonated. But the other 2 servicemen that were killed were in Jordan, and a third was missing, and there were remains found in Jordan that are now being tested. So those strikes on Jordan in particular have been deadly for the United States. And we're also hearing reports from U.S. officials that dozens of American servicemen have been injured this month. That information was not given out by the Pentagon over the course of these 9 days of intense back and forth strikes between the U.S. and Iran, though we are told that most of those who were injured are actually back in service, which means that their injuries were not very severe.
Jordana, the Iranian response is interesting to me. I know drones can be a very difficult part of this equation, but the ballistic missiles, do we feel like the intelligence is there to strike where the ballistic missiles are coming from? Do we think that kind of intelligence is available?
Absolutely. The United States has said in their list of targets that they've hit ballistic missile launching pads, and Israel is not involved in this fight on the battlefield or in the skies, but the Israelis are likely sharing intel on the targets, and the Israelis know better than anybody. They've studied the topography of Iran for decades, and they know where the missile launching pads are. And that was one of the central aims and focuses of the Israeli bombing campaigns. So, that remains a priority in terms of targets, and also the drones. I mean, drones have, the Iranians are looking at Ukraine. They see what Ukraine has been able to do with drones against Russia. And they are using drones, and unfortunately, they are a very effective weapon.
So the memorandum of understanding is dead, essentially. Are we back to square one at the table when it comes to peace negotiations, or are we actually even farther away from that now?
Well, I do think the memorandum of understanding is, it is dead. We heard the, Iranian officials say it over the weekend. They're not bound by it anymore. They said President Trump's signature is quote unquote worthless. But having said all of that, the diplomatic channels have not been shut down. There is communication between the sides. That doesn't mean there's a robust negotiation going on right now, but there was very credible reports of a draft ceasefire proposal for 10 days that the Iranians said today. One senior official told Reuters that they are looking at this and they're considering it. So they haven't shut the door on diplomacy. Now that there is an MOU, I think it seems like if it was, there's a possibility to revise it and then, get back to something at the negotiating table.
Yeah. Jordana, I thought Iran's interior minister was traveling to Pakistan for mediation. Is that still happening or no?
There was a report that that the Iranians were going to go to Pakistan. There were also reports that the Qataris are involved in back channel talks, and the Omanis and the Egyptians. I think there's multiple diplomatic channels. Whether or not the foreign minister, Abbas Agrachi, is still texting President Trump's envoy, Steve Witkoff, that I'm not sure about, right? I'm not sure if that channel is still open, but the president, even in this renewed fighting, the president he would still prefer, right, to cut a deal and avoid a major all-out return to all-out war. The question is, what has the president accomplished in these 9 days of fighting? Are the Iranians willing to make any concessions? It certainly doesn't look like they are.
Yeah,
there's nothing in their public statements to indicate they are ready to negotiate or compromise.
This might sound silly, and I don't know what the rules of engagement are when you're at war, at least an attack like this, but I know both sides have targeted civilian infrastructure, which millions of people rely on. Is that a bad look, or that's just war?
Well, I think both the United States has hit infrastructure in Iran, and Iran has hit infrastructure in the region. For example, in just this short 9 days of fighting, the Iranians have hit twice a power station and a desalinization plant in Kuwait, putting clean water at risk, right, in Kuwait. The United States bombed bridges and a maritime control tower and railway lines in southern Iran, connecting, it looked like an American attempt to cut off the supply lines from southern Iran to the coast, to places like Bandar Abbas. Have there been major strikes on infrastructure that, in the capital of Tehran? No. We're not there on a scale that would really harm innocent civilians.
Okay.
But it started. It's a slippery slope, right? They've hit already, and it could increase. Those targets could increase.
Yeah. Jordana, it's always great to get your perspective. Thank you so much. Stay safe.
Thanks. Talk soon, guys.
Meep, meep. Meep, meep.
All right, it's 10 minutes before 5 o'clock. Captain Paul, how's traffic?
Heidi, no accidents, just some slow traffic. 6455 East is heavy from the Poplar Street Bridge to the King Bridge. 6455 West is slow between the King Bridge and the Poplar Street Bridge. 64 West congested from Kings Highway to Clayton Skinker, and it's stop and go at times from Prospect to I-70. And 64 East is jammed from just east of Illinois 157 to 159. From the KTRS Traffic Center, I'm Captain Paul Kopsky on the Big 550 KTRS.
I think it's so interesting in our headlines. We were talking about kind of separated at birth or the mix-up, and then we were talking about the library and all of those things, whether it's genealogy and history, whether it is all kinds of books covering every topic, you'll find it at the St. Louis County Library. I mean, I love that the St. Louis County Library has this large genealogy and local history collection, which is open to all of us. And so in the Emerson History and Genealogy Center there at the Clark Family Branch, I mean, we're talking about thousands of family histories. They also have a digital archive, and they've got databases and detailed maps and the trained staff that can help people even like me, where I have no idea where to start. They will walk you through all of it so you can get started on your own family history project. Who knows what you might learn or who you might be related to. The center also includes a memory lab where you can record family histories, and they have all the equipment to digitize either those old photos or convert those VHS tapes. We have a really good one of a dance recital, and I say really good because my sister kind of slips, but she recovers, and it's so fantastic. But my aunt had that saved to a digital file, and it's something that we treasure, and you can do that with yours at the Emerson History and Genealogy Center. Find out about everything going on at the St. Louis County Library at slcl.org. Lauren, can I ask you a couple questions?
Sure.
If your parents were buying a home tomorrow, would you represent them any differently than one of your clients?
Not a chance. And when I say that, I mean I treat my clients exactly like I'd treat my parents. Same honesty, same advice, same negotiation. Every client gets the same service.
Okay, second question. If one of your closest friends called you and said, I found a house, I'm in love with it, but you knew it was a bad decision, what would you do?
I've already done it before. I'd tell them no, don't buy it. My job isn't to sell people houses. It's to help them make good decisions. And sometimes that means they don't get to buy anything that day.
That's exactly why I've sent my friends and family to Lauren for years.
I mean, it's simple. Buying and selling a house, it's a big deal. And people deserve to have someone who's willing to tell them what they need to hear and not just what they want to hear.
Exactly. If you already know Lauren from listening every week, then you already know the kind of person she is. When it's time to make your move, give Lauren Risley Realty a call at 314-775-0684.
If you or anyone you care about is facing a family legal matter, call Cordell & Cordell today at 1-855-GET-LEGAL.
There's a lot on the line in divorce. This is Joe Cordell of Cordell & Cordell, the largest family law firm in the country, with over 35 years of helping clients navigate divorce. But being big doesn't mean less personal or less local. Our attorneys live and work in your community, and as neighbors, they understand the challenges your families face. Divorce touches all areas of your life: your home, savings, retirement, and of course, kids. So when you find yourself facing divorce, you need a partner you can count on.
If you or anyone you care about is facing divorce, contact Cordell & Cordell today. With over 100,000 clients served, we understand the challenges you're facing on a personal level. Call Cordell & Cordell today at 1-855-GET-LEGAL. That's 1-855-GET-LEGAL. The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements. 600 Kelwood, St. Louis.
Embrace the darkness at Nocturnal by Nature. It's a free family event Saturday, August 15th from 7 p.m. to 10 p.m. It's happening at the Bush Conservation Area, 2360 Highway D in St. Charles. You'll discover what goes on when the sun goes down. See live owl presentations, explore an inflatable cave and night hikes, meet real night creatures, dissect owl pellets, get mesmerized by moths, and probe the night sky through a telescope. And free snow cones to boot. Come experience the Nocturnal in your nature.
The heat of summer has arrived with humidity, dew points, and constant hydration. But it's always cool and comfortable at Gingham's Homestyle Restaurant. Whether it's summer camp, cooling off at the pool, or just relaxing in the shade, Gingham's is a great way to start or finish any day. Just add us to your to-do list. The management and staff at Gingham's would like to wish our customers and friends a safe and enjoyable summer, and to the United States of America, a very happy 250th birthday. Gingham's Restaurant St. Charles or ginghamsrestaurant.com.
Are you looking for a deck? I am. And you know who I turn to? Outdoor Living and Pat Leahy. They've been a sponsor for a long time, and they've done some other projects for me, but this one's the big one. It's going to have metal framing, composite decking, and when it's all said and done, he's going to put a 50-year warranty on it. Not because I'm his spokesperson for all these years, but because I am a customer. Outdoor Living takes care of St. Louis. So if you're looking for a deck that will survive the heat and the winter and the sun and everything else, Outdoor Living, Big Bend and I-44 in Kirkwood. Outdoor Living or OutdoorLivingInc.com.
You're listening to the Heidi Glaus Show
with Josh Gilbert and Bob Ramsey
on the Big 550. KTRS.
Back in the days when I was young, I'm not a kid anymore. But some days I sit and wish I was a kid again.
Well, Heidi and Bob, back in the day on this date, July 20th, 1881, Sitting Bull surrendered to federal troops on this date. He had been a fugitive since the Battle of Little Bighorn several weeks earlier.
Or as we Native Americans call it, the Battle of the Greasy Grass.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
We have two different names for it?
Yeah.
Custer's Last Stand, right? 1944, President Franklin Roosevelt was nominated for an unprecedented fourth term at the Democratic National Convention in Chicago. He won the election, obviously, but died only 11 weeks into his fourth term.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know it was that quick.
That quick.
That quick. April of 1945 is when he passed away. 1965, Bob Dylan's Like a Rolling Stone was released and changed music forever. Sort of. 1969, Neil Armstrong and Buzz Aldrin became the first men to walk on the moon.
That's today.
Wow.
That is today.
How about that?
Listen to this. 10:56 p.m. Eastern Time. So it would have been almost 10 o'clock here Central. When Neil Armstrong walked on the ladder, they said his pulse registered at 160 beats per minute. That's pretty high.
Mm-hmm.
It was a three-man mission, and Michael Collins stayed in orbit aboard Apollo 11 and circled around while they were down there goofing off.
Goofing off. That's what they call it.
One of the stories I heard was that Buzz Aldrin was so mad and jealous that Neil Armstrong got to go down first. Neil Armstrong was the commander of the mission.
Right.
So he got to go out first. That Buzz handed him the camera so that every picture of an astronaut on the moon would be Buzz.
That's interesting.
You know, to his point about goofing around, they did play some golf and drive around in a roadster.
That's true.
I mean, that's all
true.
I would do down there if given the opportunity.
Doing donuts.
Yeah. And then Michael Collins is like, guys, can you come up now? I'm ready to go.
I love Josh's impressions.
How long?
And his take on history.
That's right. How long did they spend down there? I think it was only was it an hour? Was it a couple hours?
How do you tell time on the moon?
Yeah.
Oh.
There's moon time, by the way. It's not Eastern. I'm gonna have to look up. There's a specific
real moon time.
There's a specific moon time zone.
Okay. This is something
Yeah.
I can use.
See? All right, coming up, other news you can use. Mark Maxwell, the 5 on Your Side, KSDK's political editor, is going to join us, and he will explain who are the winners and the losers of Amendments 4 and 5. It's very confusing, but he's going to walk us through that. We're also going to talk a little sports, do a World Cup recap, find out about the Open. We've got some local sports as well. Brendan will join us with that. We've got some entertainment news, and then we'll wrap this show up with some random. So I hope you'll hang out with us here for another hour. You're listening to the Heidi Glaus Show with Josh Gilbert and Bob Ramsey on the Big 550 KTRS St. Louis.
When you pay for tree work, you want to be sure you're getting the most for your hard-earned money. That's why you should always use the ISA certified arborist at River City Tree Service in Baldwin, Missouri. Hi, I'm Steve with River City Tree Service, and we've been the go-to tree service since 2008. Tree removal, tree trimming, storm damage, deadwood removal, stump grinding, and more. Give River City Tree Service a call for all your tree service needs at 314-270-8071. That's 314-270-8071. River City Tree Service.
This is the Big 550 KTRS St. Louis, the station you have depended on for 3 decades. We are the talk of St. Louis.
From ABC News, I'm Michelle Franzen. Fresh strikes continue in the Middle East as the U.S. and Iran mark a second week of escalations. The Pentagon says 2 U.S. military members were killed at a U.S. base in Jordan Friday due to Iranian strikes.
CENTCOM had said over the weekend that the strikes at Iran are aimed at degrading their ability to go after commercial ships in the Strait of Hormuz. Of course, that's been the big focus over these last 2 weeks, trying to limit Iran's ability to strike at those ships. But every time the United States has launched one of those strikes, Iran Iran has hit back at U.S. assets in the region, as we saw over the weekend with the deaths of these service members.
The dignified transfer military ceremony will take place tomorrow in Delaware. President Trump is expected to attend. Paramount's acquisition of Warner Brothers has been put on a temporary hold.
A federal judge here in California has granted a temporary restraining order as part of a lawsuit filed by attorneys general in multiple states. The court order puts Paramount Skydance's acquisition of Warner Brothers on hold for 14 days and means a merger cannot go forward during that time. The states, led by California, are trying to block the deal, citing antitrust worries involving the $110 billion acquisition of Warner Brothers. The judge saying in the order that the states offered compelling evidence the combined companies will possess substantial market share in the wide-release theatrical distribution market. Alex Stone, ABC News, Los Angeles.
Following their arrest in Miami over the weekend, attorneys for social media influencers Andrew and Tristan Tate told a federal judge they'll fight extradition to the UK. They're facing dozens of new rape and sex trafficking charges involving 7 alleged victims. The Tate brothers deny any wrongdoing. ABC's Patrick Reevell with more.
They have also brought forward dozens of additional charges, including of alleged rape again, as well as assault, human trafficking, and as well as making pornography of a minor.
Another hearing is set for next Monday. You're listening to ABC News.
Look at our alums, the contributions that they have made throughout industries in the St. Louis region.
Terry Freerks, a graduate of the University of Missouri, St. Louis.
UMSL is embedded in the fabric of the St. Louis community. We're hands-on, and when our students graduate, they are definitely career ready, but maybe more importantly, they're career confident.
More is what moves us. Find your more at more.umsl.edu.
Ask any designer and they'll tell you lighting is key. It's Heidi, and you can completely transform your home with Nora Lighting, which is available at my go-to store, Metro Lighting. From recessed to under cabinet lighting, Nora helps brighten every corner beautifully. Visit Metro Lighting St. Louis area showrooms to explore all the Nora Lighting solutions, or check them out online at metrolightingcenters.com.
Good afternoon. It's 5:03 and 91 degrees at Westport Plaza. I'm Brendan Weesey. Here's the latest from the KTRS newsroom. Cases of cyclospora have spiked in Missouri with 216 reports as of Sunday. Dr. Nathan Kaparnis with the Missouri Department of Health and Human Services explains that the current incubation period of the parasite makes it difficult to project moving forward.
An incubation period is the amount of time between when you get exposed to, in this case, a parasite, and when it makes you ill. For cyclospora, that's about a week, but it can range from 2 days to 2 weeks. So there could be people out there, very, very easily could be people out there that had already been exposed to this that just haven't really come down with symptoms yet because they're still within that, week to 2 week period.
Dr. Kaparnis added that it's possible to peak to the widespread nature of the parasite could be coming, but nothing right now is for certain. The St. Louis Fire Department is speaking out this afternoon after one of its stations flew the American flag upside down today. In a social media post, the department explains that it's aware of the American flag that was displayed upside down at one of our fire stations. The flag was corrected immediately after the matter was brought to our attention. An administrative investigation has been initiated to determine the circumstances surrounding the incident. The post continued that they have the utmost respect for the American flag and the values it represents. We take this matter seriously. We are a little more than 2 weeks away from the August 4th primary election, but you don't have to wait until then to cast your vote. KTRS's David Solomon has more.
Early voting begins tomorrow in Missouri. Voters can go to select polling places and cast a no-excuse absentee ballot up until Tuesday's election. Election officials are urging voters to vote early to avoid long lines and to allow for plenty of time to peruse through the lengthy ballot. A high turnout is expected with multiple statewide amendments on the ballot, including Amendment 4, which would require citizen-led constitutional amendments to receive a majority of votes in each of Missouri's 8 congressional districts, and Amendment 5, which would phase out the state's income tax. David Solomon, KTRS News.
This KTRS Business Minute is brought to you by Walter Knoll Florist, the place for all your floral needs. Place your order anytime at WKF.com. With the latest heat wave taking hold, you may be concerned with increasing energy costs. A recent survey by American Home Shield would say you're not alone. In fact, the national average electric bill is $78 higher compared to last year. The survey found 39% of Americans are worried whether they can afford their higher bills. Meanwhile, 70% of those surveyed are trying to cut costs compared to just 30% a year ago. A look now at the markets brought to you by JBL Financial. Tune in to Straight Talk on Retirement Saturday mornings from 9 until 11 here on the Big 550. Dow closes down 307 points today at 51,839. S&P 500 down 14 at 74,43. The NASDAQ down 12 at 25,508. Let's head on over now as it's time to find the good captain, Paul Kopsky. He's standing by at the Royal Banks of Missouri Sports Desk. Hello, Paul.
Hi, Brendan. The Cardinals open up a 3-game series with the Angels tonight in Anaheim. Kyle Leahy gets the start for the Redbirds, who blew a 7-0 lead in Arizona yesterday and lost to the Diamondbacks 8-7 in 10 innings. And St. Louis City SC is reportedly signing Romanian midfielder Alex Maitan. This would be the first significant summer transfer acquisition as Maitan rejoins his former assistant coach Johan Domé for their time in Columbus. I'm Paul Kopsky from the Royal Banks of Missouri Sports Desk, and now on to traffic. We are accident-free, but 64 East bogs down at 170. 64 West is congested from Kings Highway to Clayton Skinker, and it's stop and go from Prospect to I-70. And 64 East is jammed from just east of Illinois 157 to 159. From the KTRS Traffic Center, I'm Captain Paul Kopsky on the Big 550 KTRS.
All right, that heat advisory remains in effect through tomorrow. Tonight, clear skies, a low only dropping to around 79. Tomorrow, we'll have those hot and humid conditions, maybe an isolated storm. We'll top out of around 96 heat index in the triple digits. At 5:08, we have 91 degrees under sunny skies at Westport Plaza with a heat index of 106. For the Talk of St. Louis, I'm Brendan Wiese on the Big 550 KTRS.
Hi, my name is Mark Dorsey, General Manager of KTRS and proud member of the St. Louis soccer community. The world has just crowned the 2026 World Cup champion with Spain defeating Argentina. Besides the world's 48 best teams displaying their talents and athletic ability for 39 days and 104 legendary matches, we learned so much more than soccer as a universe. There is a quote that reads, "The World Cup did not need the United States. The United States needed the World Cup." And boy, is that ever so true. We learn from people all over the world that the United States is a warm and welcoming, great country once we're able to put our differences with one another aside. International fans form deep bonds with host towns and communities like the one in Lawrence, Kansas, and the Algerian national team. The town embraced the team like family, displaying their flags in store windows, and the University of Kansas marching band learned the Algerian national anthem and played it upon the arrival of the team to Lawrence. And let's not forget Scotland with their bagpipes and Tartan Army descending upon Boston, forming an instant love affair with the locals. And then there was Erling Haaland and Norway with the viral Viking row. And how about NFL quarterback Jameis Winston joining with Japanese fans in their blue bags, cleaning up every stadium they played in? Let's talk about watching the raw human emotion of patriotism. The international players and fans don't just sing the national anthem, but they scream it out in full voice for love of their country. This is an absolute national joy and love. International fans and local Americans connected and enjoyed each other. One fan said, "I'm loving having the World Cup here in America because it's like having a wild sleepover party with the rest of the world while they discover and find adventure in America." If it was just sitting around watching the game with family, friends, or loved ones, sharing stories, memories, or even a game you played in, you were captivated by these games. Maybe you're fortunate to travel to a game or two to see the spectacle in person, to see the large crowds, pre-game activities, the flags, the jerseys, to see the excitement and enthusiasm of all the fans. This you will treasure forever. We in America are used to Super Bowls, World Series, Stanley Cups, but this game they refer to as the beautiful game gave us everlasting memories and lessons we should practice and cherish for a lifetime. This World Cup has opened my eyes that this planet of people can exist together. We come in all shapes, sizes, colors, political and religious beliefs. Acceptance, kindness, friendliness, and respect is all we need to continue to work on. Thank you to the World Cup for opening our hearts to show us that we are all in this world together. And to the U.S., Canada, and Mexico, pat yourself on the back for being an excellent host for the biggest game in the world.
You're listening to the Heidi Glaus Show with Josh Gilbert and Bob Ramsey on the Big 550 KTRS.
Well, there are a couple of interesting amendments on the ballot here in Missouri, and we wanted a better explanation. And Mark Maxwell, political editor for 5 on Your Side, recently answered a viewer's question about Amendments 4 and 5. He did such a great job. We said, will you please join us and explain? Thanks for making time for us, Mark.
Yeah, hey, Heidi. Hey, Bob. Hey, Josh.
So a viewer wrote in and really wanted to know who wins with Amendment 4 and 5, and what did you learn?
Well, yeah, it was an interesting email. We get a lot of these around election season, and brace yourselves. The next 2 weeks, you're going to see a lot more ads, right? but 14, 15 days from now, it'll all be over. But some of those ads can be confusing, because especially when it's about an amendment and not about a candidate or a person whose personality, whose name, whose voting record you can assess. When it's about an issue and there's no person at the center of it, I think you start to see the most creative ad men get to work, and they put their best spin on it. And so you get viewers like Jim, who called in. He's been watching KSDK for 50 years, and he just asked, he's like, can you just put this in plain English? I don't really know what this is all about on Amendments 4 and 5. So Amendment 4, we broke it down for him. And look, I think we'll start with the proponents' view, right? The Republicans in Jefferson City who opposed expanding abortion access or legalizing abortion. They were deeply frustrated when voters did that. Those same Republicans were deeply frustrated when voters went and expanded Medicaid or right to work. You go, anytime the voters went to the ballot box and did something Republicans didn't like, year after year after year, they got frustrated with that. And they said, let's make it a little harder for voters to change the state constitution. Now, they can still put a question on the ballot that would change the state constitution, they being the state lawmakers. But Amendment 4 would make it incredibly hard, raising it from a simple supermajority now to having to have a majority in all 8 of the congressional districts. So we told Jim in our segment, that basically means the smallest corner of Missouri could have veto power over the rest of the state. And that's what it would do for Amendment 4. So it would just make it a lot harder for voters to have direct engagement in shaping the state constitution.
And Mark, I also think that these ballots are written so confusing, and you never know, are you voting for or against it?
Yeah. I mean, if you're voting yes on Amendment 4, you're voting to make it harder to change the Constitution in the future. If you're voting no, you're voting to keep the current structure in place. Now, 5, I think 5 is more interesting because there's kind of a dynamic scoring, some of the political and policymaker nerds would say. It sounds simple, get rid of the income tax over the next 10 years. Okay, a lot of people might vote yes for that. But then you look at it and it says, well, we're going to remove the Hancock Amendment provisions that right now, if lawmakers want to raise your taxes, say on your sales tax or your gas tax or your use tax or whatever, they have to go to you, the voter, and ask permission, and there's an election, and then they can raise your taxes. You vote for Amendment 5, that goes away. They wouldn't have to ask you a permission to raise your taxes on anything. So the income tax would be phased out, but all of a sudden it'd get a lot easier for Jeff City to come back and raise your taxes elsewhere.
So the when you talk about Amendment 5, it's interesting that they're trying to. They say the income tax, that's gone. So do you think? And I know it's a dangerous place to try and get inside a politician's mind. So, but I'm asking you to do it instead of me. You're braver. And so did they really just want more control over what they could tax rather than, hey, we're going to save you, we don't need this anymore with the income tax?
I don't know that they wanted control per se. I do think that some of the wealthiest people in the state would see the biggest overall cost reduction. Their tax bill would go down the most because they have the highest income share.
Yeah.
And so I think that there were advocates and investors and business owners and people who had lobbied for a long time to say, let's get rid of this income tax, and you can replace it with a more regressive tax that comes out every time someone goes to the checkout line and pays for something. Boom, nickel and dime, tax here, tax there. And if you live paycheck to paycheck, a lot more of your money is spent in that fashion than the person who has all kinds of disposable income or their money is tied up in, assets and whatever else.
Great point. We're talking to Mark Maxwell, political editor for 5 on Your Side. So and I don't know if you know the answer to this or not, but how does our state income tax compare to other states? Do most states have an income tax now?
Most states have an income tax. Our neighbor in Illinois has a 4.95% tax. Here in Missouri, our income tax has been gradually going down over the last several years because of the overall revenue. But it's a little bit less than that. The difference is that in Missouri, it's technically a graduated or a progressive income tax rate, meaning up to the first $9,000 or $12,000, something to that degree. You have different rates where there's a scale. That part of it is outdated. This is something that I don't know how many voters fully comprehend. The state legislature, if they wanted to, they could change those rate structures. And they could say, hey, everybody under 40 grand a year income, we're going to set your tax rate at 1 or 2%. And everybody under 60 grand, we're going to set yours at 3%. So they could go in there and play with those numbers to give tax relief to the people at the bottom of the income scale. They just haven't chosen to do that.
Got it.
And currently, Missouri's base state sales tax rate is 4.2%. What would it go up? And this is not a gotcha question. This isn't a trick question. What would it go up to if we get rid of our income tax?
The answer is completely unknown. We just don't know. It's not in this ballot question. It is to be determined. So that's why we kind of closed that segment out by saying they're asking you to get rid of the income tax and then trust them on where because they can apply a sales tax to a number of different things or a use tax to a number of different things. Even property taxes could go up. So it's impossible to say the overall effective sales tax rate would hit X, Y, or Z because we just don't know yet. And all of those sales tax increases and the income tax reductions are tied to revenue triggers. So what that means is the state's going to have to raise a revenue to effectuate or to turn on the income tax cut. So for them to actually say, we hit our mark and we're going to start slashing the income tax, they're going to have to find revenue somewhere. So maybe they collect that tax from, Governor Kehoe said it. He wants to tax your Spotify account, your Netflix account, all your streaming services, those kinds of things. He wants to direct some sales or use taxes at those kinds of services, the stuff that you don't really see, but will just come out of your paycheck every month.
And I don't know if I'm to believe Google's AI, but I asked it to offset $9 billion, which is what we would be losing if we got rid of income tax. To offset $9 billion, how much more would the sales tax have to go up? And this said 8%. And, 8% on top of the base, 4.2%, not to mention we haven't even gotten into the county and the community and the all the other taxes that make up what we pay when we buy something. So the question is, do you want to drop your 4.7% income tax to pay 8% more every time we buy something? I don't know how it's going to shake out, but that's my point. They're not telling us.
I think, and this is why I've seen some analysts and reporters suggest that Amendment 5 would be really good for lobbyists because the special interests and the companies that hire these folks, they're going to be able to go in there and persuade lawmakers to tax the other guy. Take, for example, what are some of the easiest things to tax? Some would say maybe alcohol sales or cigarette, the sin taxes, sports betting.
Yeah.
You go into all those things. Nobody really has a problem with taxing those for the most part. I think the general public, right? Because they're sort of niche things. But when you start to expand and say, well, we're going to start applying just a general sales tax on everything, that's when you're going to see a lot of pushback. So I don't know that the full $8 billion that you're proposing or 8% would all come from a general sales tax. It'd probably be spread around. And who knows, maybe even some of the power companies or big tech companies could face fees or, use taxes there too. So a lot left to be determined. But Amendment 5 is basically asking you to put a lot more trust in Jefferson City to watch over your pocketbook.
Yeah, it is interesting. I guess we'll see how it all plays out on August 4th. Mark, thank you so much for joining us and trying to sort through it all.
Yeah, thanks, gang. And don't forget, go vote.
Yes. Now, I'm not sure what's going on the other side of the river when it comes to elections, but I do know this. Springfield, Illinois, you can go to the, old courthouse there that is super cool. You can go see the Frank Lloyd Wright House, which it's always one of my favorites. It's the Dana Thomas House. And of course, you can step back in history and actually walk in the steps of Abraham Lincoln. You can go to one of his law offices there. It's so cool. And even play some of the games that like his kids played. Talk about really going back in time. They even have History Comes Alive. But even if I've been 10 times, I always stop by the Presidential Museum and Library because it's just so cool. And it's also a great reminder of how much really hasn't changed. I know we get bogged down sometimes with everything that's going on and how divided we are. But if you walk through the Lincoln Museum, you'll see this one hall. And it's like all of these newspaper articles of things that they were saying about Lincoln and Mary Todd. And like one of the articles even is chastising Mary Todd Lincoln for buying new china. I mean, it seems like it was just written yesterday. And it kind of is a great reminder of this experiment that we call democracy. But there's a lot going on in Springfield, Illinois. You've got the Illinois State Fair with a great lineup. Lainey Wilson is there August 15th. Ella Langley on the 21st. The Chicks on the 22nd. All kinds of great places to eat and drink, and you can actually plan your trip to Springfield, Illinois. They actually help you out a lot because they have itineraries. If you say you want to do all history, you plug it in, kind of like AI we were talking about, and they'll come up with an itinerary for you. Or maybe you want to do the horseshoe trail. That's that plate of goodness that you can eat. Anyway, you can do it all right there at visitspringfieldillinois.com.
When you want to send flowers to a loved one for a birthday, anniversary, or that special occasion, call your friends at Walter Knoll Florist. Walter Knoll is family-owned and operated and offers custom designs by expert designers. A huge inventory and selection that only the largest florist can offer, with quality and care that no grocery store florist can meet. They have several locations in the St. Louis metro area to serve you. Order online today at WKF.com. That's WKF.com. Walter Knoll Florist, your personal florist since 1883.
Hi, everybody. McGraw Millhaven here for family-owned and family-operated Lisi Lumber since 1872. Lisi Lumber is now producing and delivering custom kits for pre-assembled trestles, pavilions, and pergolas made to your specifications. Union-made, union-delivered, homeowners and do-it-yourselfers, you're going to love this. Got an idea? Send them a sketch and some dimensions, and they'll do the rest. For the best woods and pre-assembled hardscapes, call Lisi Lumber at 618-234-0105 or LisiLumber.com.
Hey, this is Zipper Zeppa. You know, St. Louis has great sports, great entertainment. Time for some great conversation. That's why I'm excited to invite you to the Mater Media Speaker Series. We're bringing in Bill O'Reilly, Cardinal Dolan, John O'Leary, other national speakers at the J. Scheidegger Center for the Arts, Lindenwood University. Tickets are on sale. Don't wait. Early bird pricing going on now. Go to matermedia.org. That's MATERMEDIA.org.
It's Les Miller weekend at Miller Furniture. We're celebrating my grandfather, Les Miller, pitching nearly 20 innings in one big league game for Detroit back in July 1945. Don't miss this limited time sale going on now through July 21st.
In Les Miller's honor, we are giving you up to 20% off everything in our Belleville, Fairview Heights, Lake St. Louis, and Ellisville showrooms. Plus, when you add in up to 60 months special financing, it's a home run.
Miller Furniture has more American-made furniture than ever to choose from, including huge discounts of up to 20% on beautiful Amish-made furniture, only available at Miller Furniture.
Take 20% off any Chatham & Wells luxury mattresses or get 60 months 0% interest.
Get $500 in free furniture with the purchase of a Tempur-Pedic or Stearns & Foster mattress, or get 60 months 0% interest financing.
Don't miss the Les Miller sale at Miller Furniture, now through July 21st.
At Miller Furniture, we put the family in furniture.
St. Louis is a small town, and we all know it, especially Indoor Comfort Team. Since their beginning in 1979, Indoor Comfort Team Heating and Air Conditioning has served their neighbors with old-school honesty and integrity, fair and common-sense pricing, and fast, reliable service with real human support. When you call them, whether you need a second opinion or a whole new HVAC system, you'll get a real human being on the other line. No AI, no robot answering machines. From HVAC installation to repairs, even water heaters, Indoor Comfort Team will take care of you. And with summer already upon us, maybe it's time to get that air conditioner checked. Indoor Comfort Team takes care of our community because they're a part of it. Check them out today at indoorcomfortteam.com
or call 314-894-8200.
Carney, Buck.
Julie, I think Tuesday's show will be magical.
I am looking forward to it. We're going to talk sports with our very own Frank Cusimano.
That's not the magic part.
Oh, tell me the magical part. I know where you're going.
The International Foundation Brotherhood of Magicians are having their annual conference, and we're having magicians in here, Abracadabra Studio.
Poof. Maybe I'll make you disappear. Meet us here at noon. We'll see how it all goes down.
John Carney, Julie Buck, weekdays at noon on KTRS. The talk of St. Louis. You're listening to the Heidi Glaus Show with Josh Gilbert and Bob Ramsey on the Big 550 KTRS.
All right, so we had to talk to Mark Maxwell about amendments 4 and 5.
And somebody said, now can you explain amendments 1 and 2?
Well, I'll have to call him back.
Yeah.
Because I can't. But the question, how long were the astronauts actually on the moon? I've got an answer for you.
Okay.
All right, so they were in the capsule and on the moon for 21 and a half hours. However, they were only out walking around for 2.5.
Mm-hmm.
So the question of when Buzz and Neil are in the capsule and they're going, you go. No, you go first.
I don't know what's out there.
Yeah. You're sitting next to the door. So only out there picking up rocks and running around.
Hitting golf balls.
Somebody texted and said the rover came later.
Oh.
Wow. I bet when they were out there for 2.5 hours, they're probably looking at each other and they said, it would be pretty sweet.
We had a car.
If we had a car.
Maybe.
And then what time is it on the moon? They call it Coordinated Universal Time, UTC. It's just another name for GMT, Greenwich Mean Time. So it is currently 10:28 p.m. on the moon.
Okay.
All right.
Does that work?
Yeah.
Sure.
Works for me.
It's 5:28 here, and it's time to get another check of traffic with Captain Paul.
Then on 270 north past 64 and another on 64 east at Mason. Both crashes are causing slight slowdowns. 270 east is jammed between Bell Fountain and Illinois Route 3. 64 west is slow from Kings Highway to Clayton Skinker, and it's stop and go from Prospect to I-70. And 64 east is jammed from just east of Illinois 157 to 159. This traffic report is brought to you by Fielder Electric. See what everyone is saying about the pros at Fielder Electric. Whether it's a new build or a 100-year-old home, Fielder Electric has you covered. From the KTRS Traffic Center, I'm Captain Paul Kopsky on the Big 550 KTRS.
Hey, St. Louis, temperatures are rising, and if your AC isn't blowing cold enough, trust the experts at AAA Home Services. For 56 years, they've been fixing it right the first time. Our expert technicians are qualified to work on any system with any issue. We can even perform your annual maintenance on your air conditioner before it gets too hot. And if you need an estimate on a new system, we can do that too. For 56 years, St. Louis has trusted AAA for heating and cooling, electrical, plumbing, and appliance repair needs. Call 636-397-3200. Online at AAASTL.com. Call AAA. We're on our way.
What does the Science Center, Lambert Airport, the Magic House, McDonnell Douglas, and St. Louis firehouses all have in common? They all trusted their roof to Beatty Roofing. Beatty Roofing has been in business for 70 years. They're not storm chasers. They're based right here in St. Louis, and they've been doing it right for 70-plus years. And if you need a roofer, Beatty Roofing. In fact, first responders get an extra 10% off all roofs. 314-892-1331 or online, BeattyRoofing.com.
Looking for a new kitchen or bath? Call me, Anne-Marie Bogus, the co-host of the Inside Out Show and owner and designer at Anne-Marie Design Studio. Visit our website at annemariestudio.com. We can help make your dream space into a reality. We're a fine kitchen and bath boutique located in Wildwood. We do it all, from design to bid to installation too. Call us today at 636-821-3395 or go online at annemariestudio.com. Let's make your dream kitchen or bath a reality with Anne-Marie Design Studio.
This is Mariah, third generation at Newsteaders Fine Jewelry. Buying an engagement ring can be intimidating. At Newsteaders, we ensure complete understanding of your purchase. We offer a choice in both lab and mine-grown diamonds and are able to work with any budget. Let our family help educate you on your choice at Big Ben and Doherty Ferry or at wowdiamonds.com.
You're listening to the Heidi Glaus Show with Josh Gilbert and Bob Ramsey on the Big 550 KTRS.
The World Cup is in the rear view mirror. KTRS Sports Director Brendan Weezy joins us to talk sports. Yesterday, I felt like Argentina didn't show up until the very end there, but I know that it was still a fun match.
I think it was more Spain is really, really good than
good point.
than Argentina, and they did manage a couple. I mean, even they were down a man. They're late. They had the red card that sort of put one hand behind their back there for the
and they hung in. That's what's crazy.
They really did. And then even down a man, they had down 1-0. Then they still managed a couple of really, really good chances at the goal. Couldn't quite be. I mean, it would have been the perfect ending for Argentina's season because that's all they did in the knockout rounds was survive.
And I never gave up on them.
Yeah, exactly.
Because you just didn't know what was going to happen.
Didn't know. And for Messi, it's tough for him to really be a factor when they never had the ball on the attacking side of the field. So they finally did in those last few minutes, and he helped set up a few of those chances.
And Argentina's goaltender kept him in it. I mean, he was crazy good, which is fun to watch. All right, Mizzou star running back Mon Harding has been medically cleared. Does that mean he's actually on the field, or what's happening?
So SEC Media Days down there starting today. Our own Eli Hoff will join us tonight from Tampa and provide a little more insight on it. But by all accounts, this is very good news for Ahmad Hardy's chances of playing this year. Obviously, I don't think it's a lock that he plays that first game or even those first couple of games. Kansas is week 2 on a Friday night in Lawrence, and it's still a couple of weeks after that before you get into the SEC. So with or without Ahmad Hardy, Mizzou should be undefeated before they open the Southeastern Conference portion of their schedule. And I think Mississippi State and Florida are the first couple of conference opponents on there. And then they really rev it up. Texas A&M follows soon thereafter. So it's a manageable early schedule again that may help dictate how quickly they get Hardy back out there. But yes, medically cleared, that's very good news.
With Hardy, they never did really come out with a specific leg injuries, bones, ligaments, muscles, privacy. They don't have to.
Right.
So we never did really hear specifically, right?
Yeah, well, Drink explained a little more today about the damage that was done, and again, that the fact that it's a bullet wound. I mean, you're gonna navigate the way the health professionals tell you to do so. But I still, and this is where the unknown sort of comes in, exactly when he's going to be, medically cleared and physically fit to play football are two totally different things. So I think at this point, it's, again, I don't see any reason why he won't be on the field now at some point. I don't think it behooves him to say, well, I'll just sit out a year and run it back next year. He should be 100%, as much as 100% is for a football player, sometime this season. We just don't know exactly when.
SEC Media Days is happening this week, and maybe we'll find out a little bit more. But Brennan, what's your take? What's the conversation like? The cupcake games, Arkansas, Pine Bluff, Troy, and of course Kansas. Are we going to do away?
Well, that was a shot.
Shot fired at the Jayhawks.
Are we going to? Thank you, Bob. Are we going to do away with the cupcake games? Because frankly, it's fun to see Mizzou run all over somebody, but it's not really rewarding when it's Arkansas Pine Bluff.
Well, here's the thing, and it's interesting you bring that up because it was talked about extensively today, but just not exactly the way you framed it, Josh. Because Mizzou and their SEC cohorts, they begin a 9-game conference schedule this year. And it is nobody. I don't think any of the coaches like it. And I think the SEC is going to put itself behind the 8 ball pretty often. It's great for the fans. 9 games, right? 9 really really good high leverage games in the SEC. But we're going to see some really good SEC teams with 3 losses, and maybe even more than that. And it's going to be difficult, I think, for the committee to parse through who really does indeed belong, because as Drink points out today, the Big Ten, they don't have to schedule any of those power out of conference teams as part of their non-conference schedule. So I think he said it tongue in cheek, but that's why the Big Ten has had 3 straight national champions, according to Eli Drinkwitz today.
Did we add Ole Miss? This isn't the same schedule from last year, right?
No, sir.
Okay, we had 2 schedules last year and the year before that, same teams, right?
Flip-flopped, yep.
Flip-flopped,
Yep.
Okay, but this year's all new opponents. We got Ole Miss, we got Texas.
Not all new opponents, but it's a completely... So this is the first year where you begin the 3 annual rivals. So for Mizzou, that's Arkansas, that's Oklahoma, and that's Texas A&M. So you'll play those teams every single year. Other teams that aren't their annual rival that's on the schedule, you've got the Florida Gators, you've got
Georgia.
Mississippi State, you've got the Georgia Bulldogs down in Athens. This is a very daunting schedule for Mizzou. It's even more daunting next year, believe it or not, and that's... Again, it's sort of where college football is right now, and the fact that there is no uniformity and the conferences are out for themselves, and everybody's operating in many circumstances under different rules. And that's always, for college football, it's what, in many regards, it's what makes it great. But I know for some folks, it's what makes it so frustrating, because it's hard to be able to evaluate teams when you're playing on, in some regards, uneven playing fields.
So true. I thought this was kind of interesting. St. Louis led the country in TV ratings for the baseball's All-Star game. Does that just show how much we St. Louisans, this area, loves baseball?
Yes. I also think that the fact that Jordan Walker, the night before, won the home run derby on Netflix, when I imagine not everybody that wanted to see it got to see it because of that fact. I think Walker definitely helped boost those ratings a little bit, but absolutely, it's St. Louis being among the top television viewers for the World Cup. St. Louis is always among the top viewers for national baseball broadcasts, whether they involve the Cardinals or not. So yeah, certainly not surprising in that regard. And I think for the Cardinals, last week there were a lot of people really stoked about Jordan Walker and what he did at the home run derby. I think it certainly increased that viewership come Tuesday.
A little less exciting what they did last night.
Last night was probably the worst loss of the year. 7-0 lead. You feel like you can just coast the rest of the way, and that's one because whether the athletes want to admit it or not, whether the manager wants to admit it or not, Ollie, that's one where you've gotten to a point in that ballgame where you've banked it. You've banked a win. Now it's like you start to think about the Angels. You start to think about the next road series coming up tonight in Anaheim, and then to have that ripped away from you, it's just absolutely demoralizing.
Yeah, brutal. is what I would say. And then we got to talk a surprising winner at the Open yesterday. Talk about a.
Well, I love this.
Fun. That was really fun.
Man.
Ryan Fox from New Zealand.
I mean,
now,
who had him winning this whole thing?
Nobody had him winning it, but I can say we here at the Big 550 are big fans. He joined me on the show back in April.
He did?
He was
How
on
did
the
I
show.
miss this?
He was on to talk about the BMW
Yeah.
and the fact that he is a genuine guy. I know we were sort of. We had a common thread because we both battled kidney stones this year. And
that's a fun conversation.
Yeah, exactly. Put him on the shelf. And in all seriousness, put him on the shelf for much of the spring. He won twice last year. One at Myrtle Beach, one at the Canadian Open. And he talked a little bit about that in our conversation where, I mean, these guys on the PGA Tour, when your membership and when your status is uncertain.
Yeah.
Like if you don't win X number of dollars, if you don't finish in the top third of the tour, there's a very good chance you may not be around next year. You may be playing on the Corn Ferry Tour. You may have limited access to the big tournaments. It was a big deal for him last year to get those 2 wins, to secure some spots, and now you win the Open. He's made. He's a made man for the next 5 years at least, where he's got exemptions for all of the majors, and he's 39 years old. It's a fabulous story.
Yeah, and part of the story too, he's played all over the world on all the different tours.
Yeah.
But he wanted to make the commitment to the PGA and moved his family from New Zealand to the U.S.
Yeah, they've been living down in Florida.
Yeah.
And he's got a very young family. And
the phone call was cute. Yeah, you're going to see me on TV here in a minute.
Really
it's like,
cool.
okay, yeah.
And he's been around though. Because we talked about him coming back to Belle Reve. He played at the PGA at Belle Reve back in 2018. So that pretty much locks him in. He'll be in St. Louis in August, provided he's good to go and wants to play. I don't know why he wouldn't. I think it'll be it's going to be a fabulous event at the BMW. So that's the next big thing coming up for golf is the FedEx Cup playoffs. They'll play the first one down in Memphis. Second leg of the playoff will be here in St. Louis. Top 50 at Belle Reve. We're about a month away, Heidi, from that coming to town.
It's gonna be so much fun. Okay, you mentioned SEC tonight. What else are you guys gonna be chatting about?
We'll hear Drink at the podium coming up tonight. Skip will join me, Skip Berkmeyer, to talk about yesterday's Open. Mark Moser on soccer. Eli Hoff from down at SEC Media Day. So a full show. We'll see everybody after Frank in the press box at 6 here on the Big 550.
All right, sounds good. Thanks, Brendan. We'll
Thanks,
be listening.
Heidi.
Mark Lawson with Black Fox Cooper, your local Anderson certified contractor. Like you, I feel the effects of inflation every day. Costs continue to rise. That's why putting off replacing your old windows could cost you more in the future. New Anderson windows can make your home more comfortable, more energy efficient, and more beautiful, while potentially saving you more money on utility bills. At Black Fox Cooper, we specialize in Anderson replacement windows and offer a personalized educational approach we call the Window Review. Don't wait. Improve your home today. Call 314-270-1484. Online, blackfoxcooper.com.
The tradition continues on Saturday, July 25th, when the Cardinals play the Cincinnati Reds. That day, you can take home the fan favorite Victory Blue jersey, just like the one the Cardinals wear every road Saturday, presented by Stiefel. It's a clean, classic look that stands out all season long. Available in medium and extra large while supplies last. Step into Saturday in Victory Blue. Get your tickets now at cardinals.com/promotions.
This is Michael McGreevy. See you at Busch Stadium.
I trust Pella Windows and Doors of St. Louis with my home when it matters most. They are the local experts who know our area best. For a limited time, get 20% off Pella projects. Call 833-87-PELLA or visit Pella.com/radio to learn more. Restrictions apply. See site for details.
You're listening to the Heidi Glaus Show with Josh Gilbert and Bob Ramsey on the Big 550 KTRS.
Let's talk a little entertainment news. The Odyssey had a $124.5 million opening weekend, which is kind of surprising consider how much was on TV. Mm-hmm. Everybody was getting to the theaters. Anybody seen it yet?
No.
Okay.
I got a couple reviews. Yeah. Pretty good.
Yeah.
What's the runtime?
It's under 3 hours, like right around there.
Did you see a couple weeks ago they put out a thing that said the
average
ideal,
time?
Yeah, the ideal runtime is 88 minutes.
Mm-hmm. I like about 90.
I don't know. That's a little short.
Oh, you cannot please you.
I would say I'd have to just go to my favorite movies. I probably like my favorites are probably a little longer.
Longer than that.
I'm probably
I think
closer
it
to
depends.
120.
If it's a great movie, you don't even look at
You
your
don't
watch.
notice.
So, and if it feels like it's dragging on, it's not a great movie.
I think I don't think it's a good criticism to say it's too long. What you're saying is it's not paced very well.
That's right. Absolutely. Spain, as we just discussed, won the World Cup with a 1-0 win over Argentina in extra time. Celebrities on hand included Matt Damon, who Josh thought looked like Brad Pitt.
I thought it was Brad Pitt.
Yeah. Beyonce and Jay-Z, Timothy Chalamet with Kylie Jenner, Will Ferrell, Kevin Hart, Serena Williams, John Hamm, all in the building, among many others. Jennifer Hudson, I thought, did a beautiful job with the national anthem. Tom Cruise showed up to tell us how awesome the World Cup was. I thought that was a little odd. And then the halftime show, Madonna, Shakira, Justin Bieber, BTS, and an electric version of Seven Nations Army. And, of course, several Muppets. Do we know why the Muppets made an appearance? Kermit, Miss Piggy, Elmo,
Why can't
Cookie
they
Monster?
die?
I don't know. What happened?
Much to my dismay, I turned it on after the Muppets appeared. And my wife was like, oh, yeah, the Muppets were there. And
Yeah.
I missed it.
Oh, my. What did you do during
It's
the
all-
half?
I was outside. We were grilling or doing something.
Oh, I thought the halftime show was pretty amazing. And I like the mixture of it was not just one genre. It wasn't just.
But Bieber, he sang like a kind of a downer song.
Well, he
I
did.
wanted to hear something fun,
Maybe like you on the randoms.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I mean, like.
And the downer.
Hello. Who's this downer guy?
Oh.
Why is he here?
Okay, to other entertainment news, Jim Parsons was at the height of his fame during The Big Bang Theory, but it came at a cost. He was reflecting on his career and time on the hit sitcom during a recent interview and said, I look back now and realize that there were many ways, at some point, the best moments of my life, but I was miserable. I was not happy. I was stressed. I felt that there were so many plates I was supposed to keep in the air, and that success and the good things of life that were happening were only due to this overworking, discipline, and whatever was going on. Maybe to a degree that was true. He said, I don't know, but I can't say because that's just how I saw things. He said while his work on Sheldon Cooper won him numerous awards, he said the toll at the end of the day wasn't worth it. He said he would not do it again for any amount of money.
What?
He said it was stressful and miserable at times. He said he made himself miserable. Lars from Metallica says the band's upcoming residency at the Sphere is overwhelming and intimidating. I think it would be because everybody has done such great things in that atmosphere. And what's going to be circling around you? What are you doing to make it better than the last person who played that
Doing,
place?
air quotes, the same show night after night,
Yes.
same venue.
I think it'd be interesting. Brad Paisley attended the Taylor Travis wedding, and he said that the wedding was one of the least pretentious he has attended or will ever see. He noted that just being invited made him feel deeply appreciated.
Stop it. $26 million wedding at Madison Square Garden with a castle built just for the occasion is the least pretentious wedding that you've ever been to.
Well,
He gets around.
Yeah.
You can have a lot of fun with things and it not be pretentious.
Okay. Yeah.
You know, I mean, maybe we haven't been there. Maybe the castle was just fun and not like in diamonds.
Didn't they give away a car?
No, that's The Price is Right.
You had other door prizes.
They did.
Yeah.
And, you know, I have a story here in the stack. It's now a thing to give away stuff and like to have different kind of this. I'll find it tomorrow at the wedding. And like this one wedding was all based on games. And there were different gaming sections and different things to do. So instead of just having a dance like we're all used to, whether it's a DJ or a band, people are going all out with all kinds of different ideas. I'll get to that tomorrow. Angelina Jolie is embarking on a new chapter. The Mama 6 recently celebrated her two youngest, the twins' 18th birthday. So now she's ready to experience the world with them and move on from their life in California. So, Darius Rucker says he might retire in a couple years, but before he'd do that, he says he'd do one more Hody and the Blowfish tour.
One more Hootie. Yeah.
Hootie, not.
Does he play Hootie songs?
He did when I saw him.
Okay.
Yeah. Not the entire catalog,
right.
but yeah, he did the ones that you want to hear. Willie Nelson is releasing a new memoir in November in honor of his wife, Annie. It's called The Last Leaf, Reflections on Late Life Creativity and My Longest Love Affair. He says the backbone of this book is a love story. The heroine is my wife, Annie, who kept me alive when I was sure I was gone. COVID nearly got me in 2022.
That'd be good.
And then one more, Sporty Spice got married and Posh Spice designed her dress. Let's do a couple birthdays.
All right, let's see what we got here. We've been talking about her in the last week because she's announced she's leaving SNL after 7 seasons. Josh.
Chloe Fineman.
One of your all-time favorites, mine too. Chloe Fineman is how old?
34.
37.
Heidi squeaks in with a 38. All right, I got 2 more. You and I have talked about her before.
Yes.
See her in commercials now. One of my all-time favorites, kind of a character actress. What Women Want, The Descendants, which was really good, and she was great in it. And early in her career, 3 Kings, Judy Greer.
Oh, I love Judy Greer.
Huh.
And she sells orange juice too. Have you seen? And she's in
Insurance.
Allstate commercials now.
Terrific actress.
49. No, 48.
53.
Right in the middle, 51. And our final of the day, also just because she's one of my favorites, she's Garth's dream woman, if you remember, in Wayne's World, was on Bosom
Kim
Buddies.
Basinger.
No, Donna Dixon.
Donna Dixon.
I don't think I'm Donna Dixon.
From Bosom Buddies.
Okay. Now, I'm going to say she is 71.
75.
69.
Ooh.
She's still married to Dan Aykroyd?
Is that right?
No, I'm asking. It was
I don't
a
know.
huge question mark.
I thought it was Kim Basinger in that movie.
Kim Basinger.
Yeah.
Anyway.
It's
And neither one was in
over
it.
Vice.
Bass?
Oh, yeah, you're right. Okay, it's the Continental.
Yeah. 8 minutes before 6. Captain Paul, give us our last check of traffic here on this Monday afternoon.
Heidi, there's an accident on 270 north past 64, but it's not causing a slowdown. 270 east is jammed between Bell Fountain and Illinois Route 3 with a stalled vehicle at Riverview. 64 west is stop and go from Prospect to I-70 where there's a crash. And 64 east is heavy from just east of Illinois 157 to 159. This traffic report is brought to you by Neighbors Credit Union. If you're ready to upsize, downsize, or first-time home buy, turn to the team at Neighbors Credit Union. At Neighbors Credit Union, you'll find great rates, expert advice, and personalized friendly service throughout the entire home loan process and beyond. That's just what you'd expect from a great neighbor. Apply online today at neighborscu.org. From the KTRS Traffic Center, I'm Captain Paul Kopsky on the Big 550 KTRS.
You know that honey-do list isn't getting any shorter, and you got to make a dent into it. Can I recommend going somewhere to helping you out? Schnarr's Hardware. Schnarr's Hardware has 2 locations, one in Webster and one in Ladue. One great family, 2 great hardware stores. Schnarr's Hardware. When you walk in with that list, you say, okay, I think I know how to do this one, but these 3 I need help on. And you know what? The people behind the counter at Schnarr's Hardware, that's what they do best. They have the expertise, so they can help you with electrical, help you with plumbing, painting, really anything at Schnarr's Hardware. They're small, they're compact, but it's that friendly neighborhood hardware store that has been the way it's been here in America for years, right? You remember when your grandfather took you to the hardware store. That's Schnarr's Hardware. The popcorn and the advice are free. So when you go to Schnarr's Hardware, 2 locations in Webster and in Ladue. Don't forget about the website, schnarrshardware.com. So for all of your hardware needs and that honey-do list, Schnarr's Hardware or schnarrshardware.com.
The St. Louis Chess Club is a newly expanded 30,000 square foot state-of-the-art chess center featuring world-class tournament playing halls, classrooms, library, and casual play spaces for everyone who loves the game.
But it's so much more than a place to play.
It's where champions are built on the board, in the classroom, and across the community with a mission to bring the game to everyone from all levels with memberships starting at just $15 a month.
Discover the excitement, the challenge, and the community of chess at St. Louis Chess OregonChessClub.org.
You've spent years building your retirement savings. How do you turn those savings into income that you can rely on? Hear more on the Financial Safari with local trusted advisor Greg Belger, Sundays at 5 p.m., right here on the Big 550 KTRS.
You're listening to the Heidi Glaus Show with Josh Gilbert and Bob Ramsey on the Big 550 KTRS.
All right, let's wrap up this Monday with a couple good randoms.
All right, soccer has overtaken baseball to become America's third favorite sport.
What's first?
American football, number one, by far, followed by basketball. Then it's soccer. And then fourth on the list now is the national pastime, baseball.
Do we have the criteria for determining the list?
And are we talking NBA or we're talking college basketball?
NBA.
That's surprising to me.
It doesn't say.
I think that's college basketball.
Doesn't say. NBA is insanely popular. I mean, just look at how many people were paying attention to this Knicks run.
Well, that was different. That was like when the Cubs made their run.
I wasn't watching that. Ice hockey is fifth.
You don't like baseball.
Followed by tennis, boxing, MMA, and golf. Let's see here. The Backstreet Boys and TLC both passed on recording the song Baby One More Time.
Mm-hmm.
So it went to a brand new artist named Britney Spears.
I've heard that before.
Britney Spears. And the legendary bass line from the White Stripes song Seven Nation Army, which Heidi mentioned earlier during the halftime show. Boom, boom, boom.
I could play that on the guitar for a second.
Boom. Well, it is a guitar. It's not a bass. It's a regular guitar, lowered an octave with a foot pedal. You've seen him play it live. He doesn't switch guitars.
Yeah, pretty darn cool. You guys, thanks for hanging out with us on this Monday. I hope you had as much fun as we did, and I hope you meet us back here starting at 3 o'clock tomorrow. Until then, see if we can put a smile on somebody's face.
Whatever gets you through the night, it's all right. O'Reilly.
Save money on your next oil change at O'Reilly Auto Parts. Get 5 quarts of Mobil 1 full synthetic or high mileage motor